Penis. Wow. Shit. So, that'll be H. What are the odds? Chris, how's it going, man? What are the fucking odds? You see the new stuff for Absolute Green Arrow? No? Absolute Green Arrow? Is that a TV show or is that an animated TV show? Oh, Absolute Universe Green Arrow getting introduced. Oh, into the... Oh, okay, sorry. No, I did not see it. What is that? Oh, Wallflower, how's it going, man? You know what chapter stuff? I got no fucking clue. Comment, what is it? Fuck, how's it go? Okay, if I get Wordle in 3, yeah, we just started, but 6, are you fucking nuts? Brother, you want me to read 12 chapters? What the fuck do you think this is? Wait, is this a volume end? Fuck, is this the volume end? I didn't even announce it. Stop, no way. Fuck. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay. Okay. In that case, we're gonna do Wordle, and then we're starting right away because I gotta fuck. We're gonna go for fucking Smokey. You're not even fucking kidding, dude. Hold on. Okay. Let me just put it in Discord then. Fuck, dude. I didn't know this was. I didn't know this was volume, man. Okay. Wordle in 3. Let's go. Okay, let's do a quick chess game, and then we're fucking starting, boys. I have 12 chapters. I'm gonna have to run this like I'm gonna try to get 12 chapters done in 2 hours. Okay, you're not even fucking. What I'm about to do, they're gonna write songs about this. Easy's gonna have to eat his heart out after the fucking world record pace I'm about to set. No, I just announced it. Give me a fucking minute, bro. Elias is easy as he breathes. Listen, I can't judge him today because, in all honesty, I did say that I would stream yesterday, and I fucking said, yeah, we're doing 12 chapters, I guess. Fuck it, I don't know. Unhinged, how's it going, man? Oh, motherfucker shows up for the volume ender. Okay, cool. We ballin'. We're doing good. We ballin'. Good, you know? Good. We're chilling. Here to get... Yeah, I know. But we gotta really... Gonna have to... Shit. When are you starting COI? I highly recommend it. I do not recommend it at all. Unhinged, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've enjoyed like 10 chapters in all of volume 2. No, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been a kind of a slogfest. Listen, if you want me to lie to you, I will, but let's just be honest, okay? It was not great. Volume 2 and 3 bugs. Tom, don't say and 3. Don't say and 3, bro. Don't say and 3. So cringe. We can agree that area... No, Bullseye! No, go away! There's a lot of people who haven't read it yet. Stop it. Or seen episode 5. Shut up. I know what's gonna happen because I'm a fucking Game of Thrones nerd, but don't put that into the air, god damn it. Imagine finishing volume 2. What the fuck? Volume 3 is way better than 2. I fucking hope so, brother, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have too much of this in me anymore. I'm tired, boss. Shit is cringe. I have zero recollection of 3, so I must be mid. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Idiot! Oh, idiot. Oh, big brain. Okay, would you choose a Valyrian sword or Dawn? Okay, I'm gonna go with Dawn. I think you have to go with the Sword of Dawn. I think you have to. A sword that's made out of a fucking meteorite? Bro, even House fucking Tully has a fucking Valyrian steel sword. Fuck all that. Who has Dawn? No one. Well, in House Dane, right? Yeah, Dane, yeah. What if it's ice? Nah, still. Sword of Dawn. Alright, boys. You guys are in, anyone who's here today, you are in for a very special time, okay? Because I'm about to read at a pace unseen by man. It was deigned that no one could do this. I'm about to read a fucking mock fuck, okay? If you are one of the few who can keep up, your names will be remembered in ballad for centuries to come, okay? I'm gonna start Eminem fucking rap god in this bitch, okay? I gotta read. We're watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms in like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Maybe I can push it in 2 hours. Okay, I gotta run this bitch because I wanna watch episode 5. I know what's gonna happen, and it's so peak. I can't miss it. I gotta go. Okay, y'all ready? All right. If anyone's not here yet, I know I'm 5 minutes early. I do not give a piss. Okay, fuck it. Lumine's fireball missed its target, Charlotte, and in response, countless branches and vines slithered into Oberste Côte d'Or from every direction, entwining the walls, floors, windows, and ceilings. They twisted together in a tangle of brown and green, creating an impenetrable barrier. In an instant, the entire scene transformed into a surreal illusion before solidifying once more. Thanks, Unhinged. I appreciate that. Before him stood an immense tree, its shade of brown and green blending together harmoniously, its roots delved deep into the earth, and its majestic crown reached higher towards the heavens. Lumien's eyes widened as he realized he had unknowingly been transported. It was reminiscent of his previous journey into Paramita, where he knew he would find himself in a new place without any awareness of the transition. Gone was the motel. Now his feet trod upon tangled knots of tree roots that carpeted the ground. His gaze ascended to the colossal tree, reminiscent of ancient legends. As the vast expanse of the sky with its painted like blue hue and fluffy white clouds loomed above, the tree's surface was marred with repulsive, damp growths, and each branch appeared to bear the weight of its structure, a building, a road, and other peculiarities. The motel was among them, perched upon a brownish-green tree trunk entwined with countless branches and vines, revealing a mere dozen windows to the world. Through one of the windows, Lumien caught sight of the eloping couple engaged in passionate lovemaking, while the information broker, Anthony Reed, cowered under a wooden table, trembling. The other tree trunks held objects enshrouded in branches, leaves, vines, and other ethereal and hazy objects, as if scenes recorded by a magnetic field. Within this realm, ancient buildings with pediments, herringbone roofs, and lead-framed windows emerged. Women clutching gas street lamps while embraced from behind. Priests stood before nude men, and individuals leapt out of glass windows while covering their behinds. Exquisite bodies were carried on trays to dining tables. Orgies unfolded with clothes strewn about, and an evil beauty turned their heads to reveal two black goat horns. A bishop, half naked from the bottom, heard confessions from believers in front of a sacred emblem. The scenes appeared varied in architectural style, clothing, and hairstyles, some evoking ancient times while others seemed to have occurred yesterday. Behind Lumien, crimson fire ravens materialized, half illusory. He scanned the area, yet Franca was nowhere to be found. Franca hadn't been teleported. On Anarchy Street, amidst the tree roots, branches, and vines, those street vendors and pedestrians devoured the food they sold. Even after vomiting, they continued to eat with unwavering determination. Some forcefully pinned down members of the opposite sex on the street, others dragging daggers to attack peers who invoked them or dared steal their spot. In scenes of utter chaos, certain individuals approached the glass window. Pedestrians and carriages traversed the street, seemingly oblivious to the ordinary circumstances. Vendors continued to their lively hawking, and shops remained open. Passersby appeared captivated by the bustling atmosphere. What they failed to notice was the absence of anyone who had entered this area. They had simply vanished. On the fourth floor of the khaki-colored building that housed the Member of Parliament, Hugh Artois, lost in thought, gazing at the nearby street. Cassandra, with her fiery red hair, asked, "What is Susanna from the Bliss Society planning?" "Oh, it is Susanna Matisse. Okay. But I thought she was dead." A smile formed on Hugh's face. "They spoke a great deal, but my understanding is limited. I recall them mentioning a plan to submerge the underground divine tree into the depths of the Fourth Epoch Trier and extend it into a place known as the Astral World." Cassandra, Ryan, Morgan, and Boduva exchanged puzzled looks. "But won't that cause an uproar? Our current strength is far from that of the official Beyonders. It is best to avoid a direct clash with them. You may not be aware, but I come from the Sauron family, and I understand the authorities quite well. I know how powerful and formidable they can be. Everything we've done so far has been in secret, evading investigations as best we could. If we were to be exposed, it is highly likely we would face a Saint or a Grade 1 artifact, and beyond them are angels and Grade Zeros." "Fear not, it won't implicate us," Hugh said. "I didn't incite them to undertake this endeavor. I didn't even offer a hint of assistance. I can only be considered aware of their plans in advance, silently consenting. The only thing that could potentially link us to this is the explosion at the chemical plant that received an unnecessary amount of decay blessings. However, that occurred because Bono Goodville misunderstood Ryan's intentions and committed an unforgettable crime. The various emotions and desires stemming from the accident were exploited, amplified, and used as nourishment. But what does that have to do with us?" Hugh chuckled. "If they succeed, it will mark another step towards our pursuits. We will be ever closer to welcoming the descent of a great existence. If they, unfortunately, fail, we will exercise restraint for the time being and strive to ensure that our activities remain hidden. We will continue to be the ruler of the Market District. Success or failure, it is an opportunity all the same." During the National Convention's discussions, I will expose the corruption and mediocre abilities of the Beyonders from the churches. They have allowed heretics to repeatedly ravage the Market District. I will request Bureau 8 to establish a branch within the Market District to assist the inept Church Beyonders. Bureau 8, always eager to expand its authority, will support my proposal. With 3 different official forces simultaneously present, conflicts among them will work to our advantage. Compared to the orthodox Beyonders of the churches, Bureau 8 can be influenced and corrupted. This is my plan. In the long run, victory will inevitably be ours. Rhine chuckled. That's my specialty. Influencing, corrupting, and decaying an organization. Hugh Artois adjusted his tailcoat and bow tie before getting ready to depart for the banquet hall. He surveyed his areas, his gaze shifting between Cassandra, Rhine, Baduva, and Margaret. These 4 subordinates possessed impressive Beyonder powers, but with the Cassandra being particularly formidable, instilling him with a sense of security. Not every member of Parliament received the privilege of a 3-man protective team. Some were already powerful Beyonders themselves, while others hailed from noble backgrounds and had their own bodyguards. For some, a certain level of personal strength warranted the presence of a Beyonder to ensure their safety. It was only someone like Hugh, lacking abilities themselves, who required such protection. According to the rules, the responsibility of safeguarding a member of Parliament rotated among the EBS, God of Steam, Church, and Bureau 8. Today, it was the turn of the EBS Church. In addition to such Beyonders, the entire building housed 10 well-trained professional security guards with firearms. They were responsible members of Bureau 7. Standing by the door, Hugh awaited Rhine, his secretary, to open it. With a smile, he lifted his head, puffed out his chest, and walked out. On the ground, covered with tangled tree roots, Lumion surveyed himself with illusory fire ravens, once again spotting Charlotte Calvino. With a remarkable talent for acting, Charlotte gracefully wandered through the illusory scenes formed by the tree trunks. Sometimes she adorned a corset dress and styled her hair in an elegant bun. Others, she embraced contemporary fashion, donning a fitted dress, a small coat, and long boots. On certain occasions, she even transported herself to the era of the Sauron family, embodying their love for masculine attire and blending seamlessly with the corresponding backdrop. In this process, whenever she left a misty, illusory scene, she promptly emerged in one another, as if leisurely strolling through different eras of Trier. Beneath the dim glow of street lamps, Charlotte wore a smile as she addressed Lumion. "You should consider yourself honored. You are the first dissident to enter the divine tree and merge with it." The crimson fire rayments encircling Lumion condensed but refrained from attacking, because Charlotte constantly flickered between scenes. Her voice echoed from all directions. Lumion had donned his black gloves. In his right hand was in his pocket, clutching Mr. K's finger. Charlotte continued her discourse, introducing the situation as if through an aria. This ancient tree of shadow predates the construction of present-day Trier. It brings delight and sustenance to the people. With the aid of devil lineage and devoted followers, the ambience here gradually transformed into the deity's desired path. The people of Trier have never failed it. Both debauchery and pleasure are inherent to humans. Year after year, they showered it with various excessive desires. Over a millennia has elapsed, although Trier hasn't reached the expected pinnacle of unbridled joy and indulgence until death. It has taken form. The divine tree's growth has now reached a crucial crossroad. In such a situation, pure desires and emotions can no longer play their role. They can only serve as firewood for the fire. We require a sacrifice of considerable magnitude. And you, who possesses corruption at an angelic level but lacks a consummate strength, are the perfect choice. She knows the power I carry with me? Charlotte grinned. The first time you summoned High Priestess Susanna, she sensed the terrifying angelic power within. She didn't dare possess you. Her subsequent attempts to kill you were not solely motivated by Charlie. Booth, you think you can do a better job, buddy? Alright, you want to hop into a Discord call? You and I can both read a chapter. See who fucks up more. We'll let the peeps decide. You think so? I'm happy to. Listen, I get called a lot of shit, okay? You gonna fucking try to tell me my fucking reading isn't up to par? Oh, you got that. That's what I'm not gonna abide by, bro. You wanna call me a bum? You wanna call me whatever? I'm chilling, no problem. I probably am, okay? Don't, you can't call me that. I've read 1,700 chapters of this fucking shit on stream. Get the fuck out of here. Upon reaching Charlotte's words, Lumion grasped the problem in an instant. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, hey, happy Ramadan? Is that how that works? I'm sorry if that's wrong. I apologize. To Uth and everyone else. As soon as he reached the market district and attempted his first summoning dance, he unintentionally summoned Susanna, who had been drawn to Charlie. At the time, Susanna seemed eager to possess him, but she sensed the danger lurking within the seal and refrained. This mirrored the behavior of the peculiar creature Lumion had summoned before. Hence, Lumion didn't sense anything amiss. Even when he later encountered Susanna again and gained a deeper insight, he failed to connect the dots. But now he realized Susanna was fundamentally different from the strange creatures he had summoned. The dissimilarity didn't lie in her status as a Sequence 5 who had failed to attain godhood, but rather in a possession of reason and ability to think. Besides being extremely fanatical and persistent, she also led and developed an ancient secret organization. When such an evil spirit sensed the tremendously dangerous power within Lumion, even if she didn't recognize its angelic level corruption, she would have left in confusion and sought a revelation from the evil gods. By the time she grasped the situation, Lumion, possessing the strength of a low sequence beyonder equivalent to an angel, would be irresistibly appealing to the heretic skilled in rituals. It would be no less enticing than 100 million Vrildor. Had it not been for Lumion's quick thinking, temporarily stunning her with fallen Mercury and deceiving Susanna during their second encounter, the situation may have reached its conclusion before the official Beyonders even arrived. For Charlie, an ordinary person, to successfully descend from the 5th floor to Lumion's door and seek help, despite Susanna's threats and presence, it seemed more than luck. Sounds good, Kami. One couldn't trust the words and emotions of an actor. In Charlotte Calvino's performance, Lumion, who had been scanning this surroundings, hoped to utilize a hunter's instincts to find an exit. Yet, aside from the entangled tree roots blanketing the ground and the colossal brownish-green tree, there was nothing else. In such an environment, Lumion's pyromaniac instincts made him stop hesitating. He released the grip on Mr. K's finger and flung it into the air. Almost simultaneously, the semi-illusory crimson fire ravens condensed around him and took flight, each tracing an elegant arc as they soared towards the illusory scene where Charlotte stood, and the fog of the past lingering on the surrounding branches. Charlotte stepped out of the Grand Palace, suspecting to be a scene depicting a Roselle's affair, and entered the White Maple Palace during the Sauron era. There, a Beyonder who had transformed into a man due to a potion, but hadn't yet changed his sexual orientation, was scrutinizing the noble lady's spouses. The rumbling sounds persisted, yet Charlotte effortlessly evaded the fire ravens. The fog-shrouded scene of the past remains unyielding, as if truly non-existent. However, the brownish-green branches that bore them showed signs of scorching and charring. The Tree of Shadow was, after all, a tree and thus susceptible to combustion. The only issue was that Lumion's fire ravens inflicted minimal damage. In an explosive moment, Mr. K's finger detonated like a bomb, transforming into a gruesome rain of flesh and blood. To Lumion's dismay, Mr. K didn't appear immediately. It was uncertain whether it would take time to sense his presence or if the tree had isolated the space. Charlotte ventured into the illusory scene of torrential downpour where a few naked figures sprinted about. Her white silk dress seemed drenched, adhering to her body. She bestowed Lumion with a smile, her eyes akin to serene lakes. A searing flame coursed through Lumion's being, igniting from the head down to his very core. Lumion's heart surged with longing. He darted between the entangled roots, heading towards the brownish-green tree and the captivating figure of Charlotte. Charlotte didn't traverse the various illusory scenes. Instead, she stepped onto a tree branch below and leaned against the brownish-green tree trunk, her body trembling. Lumion's eyes blazed with a reddened fury as his gaze fixated upon Charlotte's eyes. His thoughts became a chaotic haze. He failed to notice Charlotte's abdomen and legs sinking into the tree trunk. He failed to observe the cracks forming, unveiling a colossal flower. The vivid red flower bloomed gradually, akin to the enormous mouth anticipating its prey. Lumion lunged at Charlotte, propelled by his fervor. Charlotte couldn't help but smile. At that moment, a muffled explosion erupted in Lumion's pocket. Underneath his blood-colored robe, a ball of flames burst forth, ripping through his pocket and igniting his shirt, causing him agonizing pain. Lumion's eyes regained some semblance of clarity. Swiftly, he reached out and grasped Charlotte's waist, keeping a minimal distance between himself and the flower. Having long been aware of Mother Tree of Desire's ability to awaken desires, how could Lumion not be on guard against such seduction? However, to prevent the other party from detecting his defenses prematurely and setting a trap, he chose not to directly soak the mysticism-smelling salt in his clothes and place it near his nose. Nor did he turn the dagger around, preparing for the collision that would bring him back to his senses. In their current predicament, such methods had little reliability, for Charlotte might not have been able to truly pounce on her. Hence, Lumion opted to create a small fireball with a delayed explosion in his pocket, all while gripping Mr. K's finger. Didn't he already throw out the finger? What the fuck? Okay, but goddamn. He remained unaffected, and the fireball, near detonation, could choose to dispel it or create another. The fireball spell inflicted negligible damage upon him. Its primary purpose was to awaken him through pain. As for the resultant burns, Lumion paid them no heed. Pyromaniacs held no fear of such trivialities. In an instant, Lumion seized Charlotte's waist, and he caught a flicker of fear on her face. Without delay, two serpent-like crimson flames burst through Lumion's palm, searing their way along Charlotte's arm towards her body and head. Charlotte tilted her neck back, emitting a pained groan as her skin swiftly turned black from the flames. Just as Lumion was on the verge of engulfing her, a wave of intense danger washed over him. He attempted to pull Charlotte to the side, but she appeared to meld with brownish-green tree. No matter how hard Lumion tugged, he couldn't extricate her. Reluctantly, Lumion abandoned his futile efforts and lunged to his right. With a muffled thud, a tree trunk as thick as wine descended from the sky, impaling the ground teeming with tangled roots like a javelin, its tip quivering. Lumion glanced up and beheld Susanna Matisse. She possessed a translucent quality, standing amidst the dense and ethereal canopy of the tree. Why is my nose so itchy? What the fuck? Blending seamlessly with it, both of the brownish-green tree trunks and the outstretched branches bore colossal wet flowers in pale hues. On Avenue de Marche, inside the khaki four-storied building, in a corner, Jenna observed Hugh, garbed in elegance, leading his secretary and others to the gathering. With a glance of champagne in his hand, he offered consolation, made promises, and delivered impromptu speeches with mere words. Jenna couldn't help but recall Lumion's question. Do you wish to sit here and watch as the murderers responsible for your mother's death and the destruction of your happiness revel in champagne, indulge in parties, and inflict even more heartache? Unconsciously, Jenna clenched her fists. Knowing the truth fueled an uncontrollable anguish. However, she understood the need to control herself. Because following the proper procedure, she wouldn't take action against a parliamentary member without substantial evidence. And if she desired to seek justice independently, her adversaries boasted several Beyonders who had been bestowed with an evil god's boon and were protected by official Beyonders and armed personnel. All she could do was endure and wait. Within the confines of Auberge de Côte d'Or, ensnared by branches and vines, Franca stood near the staircase, her face flushed and her eyes glistening. Her right hand trembled as she retrieved the canister of mysticism-smelling salts obtained from Rentus. With a twist of the lid, she raised it to her nose. Achoo! A series of sneezes erupted, marking Franca's triumph over her desires, and returned to rationality. What song, Kami? Swiftly scanning her surroundings, she realized that Lumion, who had been mere steps away, had vanished. Taking note of the unnatural transformation plaguing the motel and the adjacent streets, Franca clenched her teeth and arrived at a resolution. The tree crowns above seemed to grow ethereal and reach skyward, extending into the otherworldly realm. She retrieved two objects from her possession. A pair of tarot cards She's a fucking minor arcana too? Wait. She's... Okay, wait. Is everyone who's in the... is everyone who's in the thing, the curly-haired baboon society a minor arcana? It would make sense for Klein to tell them, like, hey, go get these guys, because, like, well, we're going to take care of them. And then it would also make sense that, like, Fours was originally there to get Aurora, but when Aurora already died, she was like, ah, fuck it, I guess he'll do. Let me cook! One depicted a man and a woman raising their cups in a greeting, the Two of Cups. In the center, a wooden staff coiled by a twin serpent stood promptly. The other card portrayed an angel sounding a trumpet, calling forth the resurrection of the departed. The Judgment card! Let's go! Let's fucking go! Oh, let's go, man. Right, fucking music, work, motherfucker. The weight of history? Bro, are we about to get some real fucking heavy hitters showing up? I mean, Judgment is Geo, right? Geo's not a heavy hitter, last I checked. listen, I'm sorry, but when I think heavy hitter, I don't go, oh wow, a fucking 4'11" fucking girl? Yeah, okay, heavy hitter. Bro, I'm thinking like heavy hitter, I'm thinking like Alger, I'm thinking like Audrey, or I'm thinking even Fours now. Like, this, the son, maybe our little son, maybe. Gio's not, I don't think heavy hitter. Oh, let me get fucking the vampire fucking bitch motherfucker over here. Or let me get fucking Gio Derecha. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I'm sorry. Franca clutched the Judgment card tightly and chanted in Hermes, "Rain Judgment." The ordinary-looking tarot card remained unchanged, but within a few seconds, the entire motel trembled. The brownish-green branches and the turquoise vines that covered the building facade receded, as if filled with fear. Franca's view through the window expanded. She witnessed the sky merging with the ethereal canopy of the tree, the clouds that appeared to be caught in a hurricane. As if the wind shifted, numerous white clouds gathered, forming a massive vortex that ascended into the ground, elongated into a sword-like gust that bridged heaven and earth. That's actually such a hard sentence. The sword descended, and a woman stood on a wavering in the middle of Anarchy Street. A woman with shoulder-length hair, donned in a traditional grayish-white knight's training attire. Standing at over 1.5 meters tall. How tall is that? 1.5 m to feet? 4'9", it's Gio. 4'9". Rue Anarchy, where she stood, was no longer recognizable. The surrounding buildings and the narrowed roads and the vendors and pedestrians consumed by their own desires were divided and scattered. Interwoven roots sprouted from the ground, connecting the scattered sections, radiating from the brownish-green tree at the center. They spread out layer by layer, growing denser as they reached the core. The streets occupied by the colossal tree remained hidden from the outside world, thanks to this strange wilderness. Bro, I do Kami, I'm sorry, bro. Because if your fucking ride is gonna be the fucking size of Mach fuck, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need you to have some aura around you, bro. You can't ride in on a fucking sword the size of a fucking Empire State Building, and then be like, "Hi, I'm actually down here." I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You've lost me. You've immediately lost me. Franca let out a sigh at the sight of the short yet defined lady with blonde hair. Grasping the judgment and the two of cups, she blurted out, "Praise the fool! Praise Madam Judgment!" As soon as the woman known as Madam Judgment landed, her gaze fell upon the side of the green tree. Unbeknownst to Franca, a cradle-like dark red open carriage had appeared at some point. Two towering creatures with goat horns, pitch-black bodies, and burning flames pulled the carriage. They seemed to be demons. Seated within the carriage was a woman wearing a light-colored veil, adorning a loose white robe and her slightly swollen belly emanating a material glow. Lady Moon. The strange wilderness was her Paramita world. Lady Moon, you have arrived from the rat's hole. The eyes of judgment instantly took on an ethereal quality as if touched by a golden hue. Through her eyes, she perceived the intertwining beyond her powers that existed within the woman, manifesting in different colors and states. Deprivation, Judgment's solemn voice sounded. It was an ancient Hermes word. With a simple gesture of her hand, Madam Judgment temporarily stripped the ability to copulate between creatures of different genders. She said, "You're gonna stay a virgin today!" Virgin beam! Immediately, Madam Judgment leaned forward, pushed out her palm, and declared in Hermes, "Exile." With a whirring sound, an invisible and majestic force coalesced into a terrifying hurricane, howling before Lady Moon. Whoring is prohibited here. "I declare thee bitchless!" Unfazed by distance, it materialized directly where the carriage was. Beneath Lady Moon's veil, her faint, discernible red lips parted as she took deep breaths. The exaggerated hurricane, capable of toppling an entire building, seemed to find an outlet in a confined vessel, surging into Lady Moon's mouth and permeating her body. In a second, the hurricane dissipated into nothingness, absorbed. With a radiant glow, she extended her right hand, caressing her swollen stomach. The sky and the billowing clouds resembled exquisite paintings. Fuck you mean previous one, bro? I don't keep them open. God damn it. While the earth beneath was a realm entwined with tree roots, Lumine's gaze met Susanna perched atop the crown of trees, and they exchanged a knowing look. In an instant, semi-ethereal crimson fire ravens materialized around them. It's so cool to think that, like, for the minor arcana, who major arcana are now is who to the major arcana Gehrman Sparrow was. They were like, listen, when like some shit's like way beyond my capabilities, I call Gehrman, okay? And this motherfucker, he just takes care of business. Like, I show up, I'm like, oh god, I can't do. And Gehrman just comes over and he's like, no problem. And these guys are like, yo, like, I was shitting my pants, and then I called the fucking Geo Derecha, and they were like, and she was like, she showed up on a you wouldn't believe it, I'm not even fucking lying to you, she showed up on a fucking sword, the size of fucking the Empire State Building. The fuck? Who the fuck? What is this oil farming? I knew, at that moment, we were saved. How's it going, man? Lumine's gaze, oh wait, no, already. And the fire ravens circled and soared towards the heavens, but they couldn't reach the ethereal canopy of the tree. They could only approach their presence without touch. They alighted upon the greenish trunk, scorching it with blackened marks. Observing this, Lumine shifted his focus. He had discovered earlier that flames possessed the ability to inflict certain damage upon the enigmatic entity known as the Tree of Shadow. Crimson fireballs condensed one after another, hurtling towards the branches of the tree, yet they merely singed them without evidence of impact. Lumine momentarily paused. Susanna was preoccupied with something, and Charlotte had yet to recover from her burns. It was suspected that she'd take refuge within an illusory scene, allowing the flames in his palm to accumulate layer by layer. until they transformed into a fist-sized sphere of searing incandescence. The explosion caused by the incandescent fireball was several times more powerful than before. Not a single fragment of the tree's bark fell. Only a larger area of charred flesh and faint whiff of colossal, light-colored blossom attested to the reality of the flame stream. Lumine's expression turned grave. In a moment of contemplation, a spear formed from burning flames materialized in his hand. He hurled the spear towards the tree, witnessing it puncture needle-sized holes into the charred bark before disintegrating into a cascade of flames. Witnessing this, Lumine's heart clenched as he recalled his sister's favorite phrase. It is akin to an ant attempting to shake a towering oak. Lumine's anxiety, impatience, and fear compelled him to unleash his fists. His fists clenched in flames. As he struck the tree, a wasp of fire infiltrated its surface. Fire infusion. Lumine sought to bypass the tree's outer bark and inflict damage to its core. His fist pummeled the trunk of the tree as if aimed to inject every accumulated flame within his being into it. After a flurry of frenzied attacks, he retracted his fist and took a step back. A muffled explosion reverberated from within the tree trunk, causing the charred bark to finally crumble away. In an instant, mist enveloped the scene as if a long-forgotten beautiful dream had been set ablaze. How much fucking... digestion is he gonna get for this? A pyromaniac is just someone who likes setting shit on fire, like a fire mage. It's its literal definition. If he's setting a fucking dream world on fire, that's gonna be fucking, I don't know, 100 points to Gryffindor. I don't fucking know. Lumine found himself momentarily lost in a haze, as if transformed into the protagonist of a dream. A man engaged in a passionate encounter with an enchanting woman wearing an exquisite dress, her hem teasingly lifted. The unfamiliar sensation felt so vivid that Lumine believed himself to be living it firsthand. Abruptly, a sharp pain shot through his ankle, snapping him out of his reverie. He discovered numerous branches and vines emerging from his surroundings, stealthily coiling around his feet. Their thorns piercing through the blood-colored robe, sinking into his flesh and greedily drinking his blood. Lumine grunted, crimson wisps emanating from his body, manifesting into the vibrant cloak of fiery flames that snatched his robe of flesh and blood. Amidst the crackling sounds, branches and vines quickly withered into brittle twigs and ashen remains. Seizing this opportunity, Lumine swiftly retreated, his gaze fixed upon the wound he had inflicted. His eyes met the same brownish-green bark. Beneath the bark was more bark. This is like the scene from Naruto where Kakashi takes off his mask and there's another mask under it and you're like, nah. Lumine's pupils dilated as he gleaned the gravity of the situation. The Tree of Shadow had been nurtured by the abnormal desires of Trier's denizens for a millennia or two. Each piece of bark likely represented specific human activities from an era layered upon one another, carrying the weight of history. Hey, they said the chapter title! In simpler terms, Lumine realized that if he wished to destroy the Tree of Shadow, he would have to confront countless desires accumulated over 1,000 or 2,000 years. It exhausted all of his strength. To merely vanquish one desire, perhaps one in a billion, how could he possibly win? Only then did Lumine comprehend the abnormality of his actions. He had been focused on assaulting the tree instead of seeking an escape route. An exchange of glances between Susanna brought forth fear, anxiety, and dulge of emotions. No wonder Susanna allowed me to act freely, and Charlotte didn't intervene. Lumine had been cautious of the fallen tree spirits and actors that could evoke desires and emotions, yet had fallen under their sway. He raised his gaze and beheld Susanna, nimbly shifting positions with an ethereal canopy, uttering an arcane incantation. Charlotte resumed her enigmatic actions, traversing illusory scenes, her attire, hairstyle, and makeup transforming. As Lumine's thoughts raced, dizziness assailed him. Such a sensation was foreign to him, but he had subjected others to its effects. A sedative concocted by Bliss Society. Even the keen observers of the surroundings, Lumion swiftly took out the mysticism-smelling salts, his attention drawn to the multitudes of flowers. He suspected them to be responsible for releasing the gas. Achoo! In the midst of his sneeze, Lumion pivoted, intending to distance himself from the tree, yet Mr. K still remained absent. In the blink of an eye, roots emerged from the ground, intertwining to erect a formidable wooden barricade, surpassing 10 meters in height, encircling the tree and obstructing Lumion's path to freedom. Lumion halted and pivoted on his heels. Countless fragments marred the trunk, branches, and roots of the tree. Some crevices harbored moist, light-colored flowers, while others resembled cavernous mouths oozing with slime. Trapped with no means of escape, Lumion smirked. Without warning, he extended his right hand, pressed it firmly against his chest, and spoke. Termi Boris, they truly underestimate your worth. They intend to employ you as a sacrifice. Bro, he's calling out a fucking angel. He's like, bro, you're seeing this, right? They're calling you a bum. You gonna let them? Come on. Okay. I need to do like 9 chapters in an hour or something. Something fucking crazy. I don't know if I can do that, dude. I'm gonna try. I don't know if I can. Upon learning of Bliss Society's plan, Lumion's immediate assumption was that Susanna had made a mistake. What lay sealed within him wasn't just corruption at an angelic level, but an actual angel. The former lacked self-awareness and reacted on instinct alone. Without undoing the seal and reconnecting with its true form, it was like a cache of explosives without a detonator. By employing the right method and utilizing the isolated environment within the Tree of Shadow, and harnessing the evil god's gaze during the sacrificial ceremony, they could break the seal and offer it as a sacrifice to the Mother Tree of Desire. However, the true angel possessed intelligence and a will. He wouldn't idly stand by while being sacrificed. If the seal was lifted, could Susanna, Charlotte, and the others handle an angel? One was a Sequence 5 evil spirit that required the Tree of Shadow to possess some godhood, while the other was undoubtedly an actor with irresistible charm. As for true angel, they had to be at least Sequence 2 for Lumion to address him as such. In ancient times, they were on par with deities and considered subsidiary gods. Initially, Lumion hesitated to use Termi Boris, fearing that the sinister angel would exploit the opportunity to make him do something seemingly innocent on the surface but would aid him in infiltrating more of his powers beyond the seal. In this scenario, everyone would meet their doom. The tree would be destroyed or vanish underground, allowing Termi Boris to truly descend upon the world. But left with no choice, Lumion stepped onto the steel rope, suspended in metaphorical abyss, hoping to maintain balance. One misstep and he could fall into oblivion. As Lumion finished speaking, Termi Boris, his voice resounded back in his ears. It had been a while since Lumion had heard the irresistible angel's temptation. He could only sense his connection to his own fate through the abnormal occurrences around him. If they underestimate me, it would only aid my escape from this seal. This environment is perfect, what I have been waiting for. Even if you perish later and the seal loses its support, the outside world won't detect the corresponding changes and prevent me from breaking free. They may not outright kill you, but once they attempt to shatter the seal and perform their act, I will unleash their fate upon them. I will abandon your body and disrupt the ritual. Termi Boris' words insinuated, this is the opportunity I've been waiting for. Why would I assist you? Just wait patiently, boy. Lumion fell into silence and leapt away from his original position. The tree roots split and a massive damp flower blossomed. Lumion inhaled mysticism-smelling salts again. Achoo! He gazed up at Susanna. You're the most dim-witted bunch I've ever encountered. He laughed. You've set up this ritual without even a clue. Did your brains empty out because of your faith in the mother, or have they been filled with various liquids? Dr. Z, how's it going? Happy Ramadan. Let me enlighten you. What is sealed within me isn't corruption at an angelic level, but an angel. His name is Termi Boris. If that seal is undone, he shall descend upon us all and slaughter you. You'll shatter this foul, wretched tree. If I were you, I'd cease this ritual and let me go. Are you bluffing? That does seem to be your favorite. I fell for it once, I will not be fooled again, Susanna said. Not far from her, on a branch, one of the few windows of the surface of the motel, entwined with vines and branches, reflected the figure of Gabriel. He frantically penned his name on a piece of paper with a fountain pen, as though a renowned author signing autographs. He had succumbed to the allure of his script, Lightseeker, gaining fame and becoming a household name. Furthermore, we have contemplated the possibility that it's not corruption but an angel, Susanna said. Therefore, with divine revelation, we've altered a crucial segment. We will employ you as the primary sacrifice. Together with the seal and the angel, to offer them to the mighty mother, it won't hinder the outcome. Sacrificial rituals are not like cooking, where ingredients are transformed into dishes. Our task is to present the offerings to the deity. For what befalls you, alongside the angel and seal, that is for the mother to decide. Why do you think I refrained from attacking you? It may cause the seal to shatter early. Don't even think of threatening me with suicide. I shall imbue you with an ardent desire to live. Although it seemed Chermiboris was akin to a valuable gift that would break free of its own accord, the seal was a locked box, and Lumion himself was the exquisite wrapping. No one had any intention of unwrapping the box and presenting the gifts. Instead, their plan was to offer the box itself. Upon hearing Susanna's words, Lumion remained unfazed. He tilted his head. Chermiboris, did you hear that? You're going to be packaged up and offered to a deity. You won't get a chance. I'm not sure how the mother will deal with you, but I can assure you it won't be pleasant. Are you truly content with that? This time, Chermiboris didn't respond immediately, but after a few seconds, draw your fallen Mercury and plunge it into the trunk of the tree. Pierce it through the second layer of bark. The fate of the tree can be exchanged, Lumion asked. It wasn't possible before, but it is now. The tree possesses living characteristics, akin to a mythical treant. Without hesitation, Lumion extended his left hand, passing through the crimson flame cloak and robe made of flesh and blood. It grasped the pewter black dirk adorned with sinister patterns. Bending his body slightly, engulfed in a flowing crimson flame, he sprinted towards the trunk, swift as a cheetah. It leapt agilely and evaded the cracks and blooming flowers. Observing Lumion's new course of action, Susanna didn't pay much heed. She didn't believe that he could truly harm the tree or herself. Nevertheless, she remained cautious. She intended to kindle his desire and fabricate corresponding illusions, luring him to unite with a certain flower. Susanna's emerald eyes reflected Lumion's figure draped in a robe of flesh and blood. She had hoped to witness Lumion abruptly change his direction and pounce upon the light-colored flower, yet Lumion remained unaffected. Beneath the flaming cloak, Lumion clutched the mysticism-smelling salt in his right hand, holding it close to his nose. Tears welled up in his eyes, obstructing his sneeze, but with the aid of the alms monk endurance, he endured. Susanna was puzzled. With her Loveland sequence, even if the other party sniffed the mysticism-smelling salt, he shouldn't be unaffected. Under normal circumstances, given the disparity in their strength, she could easily induce Lumion to sneeze while he reached for light-colored giant flowers or brownish-green crevices. Of course, there was a possibility of failure in such situations, but it was unquestionably lower than the probability of success. But now, Susanna's initial attempt had proven futile. Lumion let out a loud sneeze. Seizing the moment while his mind remained clear and Susanna hadn't exerted influence a second time, he shielded the metal canister with his right finger and thrust fallen Mercury into the tree, aiming for the needle-sized hole he had created earlier with a spear. A resounding clang echoed as fallen Mercury failed to penetrate any deeper, as if struck with an impenetrable iron plate. Lumion, having inhaled a substantial amount of smelling salt, sneezed once again. Lumion's right hand gripped the metal canister, surged with crimson flames, absorbed the engulfing cloak of fire that adorned his body, condensing into a blazing white boxing glove. In the next moment, Lumion raised his right fist and hammered it against the hilt of fallen Mercury. A thunderous boom erupted as the incandescent white boxing glove detached from Lumion's hand and detonated at the rear of fallen Mercury. Boom! Lumion's left palm, holding the dirk, was charred and mangled. As for fallen Mercury, propelled by the force of the impact, it managed to break through the first layer and penetrate into the core trunk of the tree. I don't think I can do it in 15 minutes. Although I will say, the fact that I am now on chapter 5 in 40 minutes, this is actually by far the fastest I've ever read. Like, not even close. The pain in Lumien's left palm from the explosion nearly caused him to instinctively draw his pewter black dirk, which had already been plunged to the core. Drawing upon his resilience and experience, he fought to control his body. As his mind cleared, he managed to shake off the desires imposed by Susanna. Pain and rationality entwined engulfed his mind. These were the accumulated experiences of the tree over the past millennia, countless fragments of desire that had nourished and formed its trunk. They converged in a mercury-colored, illusory river, flooding Lumien's thoughts like a deluge. Deluge? I don't know. Not only were there an overwhelming number of scenes that could overpower any low sequence beyond her, but some scenes compelled Lumien to instinctively ignore or overlook them. Just when he thought his intellect would be crushed by the torrent and reduced to a blank canvas, he realized he had endured. Lumien wasted no time in choosing the fate to exchange. Guided by his intuition for danger and spiritual instincts, he selected a scene. A tree root extending towards the depths of an ancient structure, devoured by an unseen flame, burned silently in darkness. With a crack, the root snapped and descended into the shadows. Purple flames surfaced, swiftly transforming into a color indistinguishable to the naked eye. In an instant it dissipated, leaving no trace behind. Lumien withdrew fallen Mercury and exerted all his strength to pry open this fate, but it remained unresponsive. The tree trunks, not excessively thick, hurtled towards Lumien like javelins thrown by a platoon of soldiers. Each one possessed a potential to impale and skewer a target. In the ethereal canopy of the tree, Susanna's eyes widened as she attempted to employ various abilities related to desire, be it sex, food, greed, or acting, all in vain. Bound to the tree, the methods available to her were far more potent than those of her counterparts who relied on ordinary trees. Although she had still doubted the so-called cursed blade could harm the tree, Lumien's confidence left her somewhat uneasy. She would rather err on the side of believing it to be seriously harmful and take excessive precaution than be careless. The former would at most be a waste of certain strength. The latter may bring about changes she didn't foresee. If the possibility was low, she had to take preventative measures. She couldn't wait until it happened. The flesh robe enveloping Lumien abruptly contracted, diminishing his size and evading the majority of the tree trunks. The two of them landed on Lumien's left and right shoulder, leaving him unable to dodge. The flesh and blood constituting the robe acted as a disciplined soldier receiving orders. They surged through the impending strike, constructing layers of blood-colored cushions. With a resounding impact, the layers of flesh were pierced by the tree spears. More flesh surged forth, filling the void. Although Mr. K's finger had transformed into a robe of flesh and blood to mitigate damage, Lumien's legs buckled under the force, causing him to tumble back. In that moment, he felt the fate of the brownish tree, which had been burned by the flame, loosen its grip. The power prying it loose didn't belong to Lumien, but also to his left chest. Gritting his teeth, Lumien utilized the momentum of his fall to laboriously stir up that fate. With great difficulty, he transformed it into a droplet of mercury and exchanged it with the fate of encountering the Masuri ghost in the dirk. With a crisp crack, fractures spread across fallen mercury, as if struggled to bear the burden of fate. Some fractures were unnaturally long and others delicate. With a thud, Lumien collapsed onto the tree roots and trenched onto the ground, freeing himself from the lingering forces of the tree javelins. Sounds good, thanks Kami. His shoulder throbbed with pain, but he remained physically unharmed. The robe of flesh and blood began to disintegrate, trickling down, obstructing the flowers in greenish cracks as they attempted to devour Lumien. With a resounding boom, flames erupted, consuming the malevolent entities. Seizing that opportunity, Lumien rolled over and maneuvered to a safe location. Only then did Lumien recall a serious issue. Amidst the dodging the attacks, he whispered amidst sneezes, "Encountering the Masuri ghost doesn't necessarily mean the ghost will attack immediately. But if it takes a while..." If it took a while, what was the point? Disregarding the fact that the ghost would assault the Tree of Shadow every month or two, even if it attacked every 4 or 5 minutes, Lumen found it despairing. When the time came, the preparations of the ritual would be surely complete. The ceremony would have already commenced, and under the watchful eyes of an evil god, there was a good chance that the ghost would choose to wait. It approaches. It is a destined fate, Termiboris said. In the canopy of the trees, Susanna seized her attacks on Lumion. Using the tree, she remotely guided Charlotte, controlling the sacrifice while delving her consciousness into the tree, searching for any potential issues from the Dirk. The sooner she discovered it, the sooner it could be resolved. Upon hearing Termiboris' words, Lumion couldn't help but ask, can the ghost truly destroy the tree? No, but it possesses the ability to influence the Tree of Shadow to an extent, creating an opportunity for you to escape. Just as Termiboris finished speaking, Lumion caught sight of a sudden black shadow beside him, the Monsuri ghost. It had bypassed numerous restrictions and obstacles to arrive in an alternate space occupied by the Tree of Shadow. With a single stride, the stooped figure reached the edge of the brownish-green tree trunk. Susanna and Charlotte noticed the threat immediately. Frantically, they stirred up various desires of the ghost, but their efforts were like stones cast to an unfathomable abyss. For the first time, Lumion beheld the appearance of the Monsuri ghost. It was neither an elderly man nor even human. It more closely resembled a vicious black shadow taking on a human form, hunching its back. The ghost fixed its gaze upon the Tree of Shadow for 2 seconds before pressing itself against the brownish-green tree trunk. Sal, how's it going, man? A sizable pool of moist darkness. Moist? Spread across the surface of this massive tree trunk, steadily contaminating its surroundings and expanding its reach. Within moments, the entire lower portion of the Tree of Shadow was overtaken by the black shadow, rendering Susanna and Charlotte's attacks futile. In the next second, the oil... Why is my fucking nose so itchy? This is so fucking annoying. The next second, the oil painting light blue sky and white clouds, along with the ground intertwined with the tree roots, trembled visibly. Faint, illusory cracks appeared on the surface of the tree trunk, the ground, and even the sky. Some of them slowly widened. Be careful, Termiboris' voice resounded in Lumion's ears. Realizing that she couldn't halt the ghost and the situation was deteriorating, Susanna screamed, "Son of the god who should have never been born, you are a cage for the imprisoning curses, an evil that erodes history. I implore your assistance." I don't have allergies. My nose is just fucking itchy. I don't know why. This instant, Susanna finished speaking, the branches beneath the tree began to secrete a vicious black liquid. Son of the god who never should have been born? Who the fuck is that? That is hard as fuck, though. Aaron, how's it going, man? Almost simultaneously, pale white, malformed skulls, yellowish eyeballs entwined with thick veins, scarlet tongues dripping with repulsive pus, and indescribable grotesque objects that induced madness by mere sight, sprouted from the liquid secreted tree trunk. Pale white skulls? But that's Adam. That's not fucking possible. In an untamed wilderness where Madame Judgment and Lady Moon engaged in their battle, Anarchy Street and other locations lay scattered. The green tree trunk swayed ominously while tiny cracks that appeared to pierce the very fabric of reality spread across its surface. Suddenly, I'm thinking of the White Skull Cathedral, White Bone Cathedral, whatever. It was just a joke. I'm just a joke. Kami, what song am I putting on? POV change, right? I think I broke Kami's brain. Did you recognize him yet? Read. In the untamed wilderness where Madame Judgment and Lady Moon engaged in their fierce battle, Anarchy Street and other locations lay scattered. The tree ominously swayed while tiny cracks that appeared to pierce the very fabric of reality spread across its surface and surroundings. Suddenly, an illusory door materialized in the air, layer upon layer. Illusory door, is this... Illusory door. It's gotta be someone of the door pathway. The only one I can think of is 4s. There might be another, but... Oh, just this one again? Okay. From the midst of these doors emerged a lady clad in an orange dress, her appearance exuding a languid aura. Emitting resplendent starlight wriggled in and out of her visage, obscuring her true features from discernment. With purposeful strides, the woman approached the tree, extending her hand to grasp the sides of the invisible crack, as if intent on tearing it open. Dude, I'm reading about 10 minutes a chapter and it's still too slow. I'm not gonna make it. Oh, that's so frustrating. Not gonna make it. Not to turn it. I need to read not 6 chapters a minute. I need to do 7. You do 7 chapters in 40 minutes. So yeah, I basically need to do, oh fuck, 6 chapters a minute. There's no fucking chance. Not say music jam. Bro, you gave me the wrong one. What are you fucking yelling at me for? Shut up. The transparent maggots shimmering under the starlight wriggled out of the lady's palm, their movements concealed. With a vigorous pull, the transparent veil veiling this world let out a terrifying groan. Unable to bear the weight, it parted. Wait, the veil that... Wait, the veil that was protecting Earth just got fucking yoinked? Amidst an indescribable shattering, the crevice ripped apart, transforming into a colossal cavity, adorned with glimmering starry specks. It resembled the entrance to a tunnel leading to an unknown realm. In an instant, the woman in an orange dress vanished. What has Forrest done? It's not Forrest, I'm aware, but what's this bitch? In a mere instant, the woman in the orange dress vanished. Seated within the cradle carriage, Lady Moon's expression flickered. It is Forrest? What do I... She commanded the demon-like creatures pulling the carriage to follow her into the tunnel. Madame Judgment followed closely behind. In a world where tree roots intertwined and ethereal clouds resembled oil paintings, as the branches of the otherworldly trees secreted, she forcefully connected to... Oh, because Lumine's in like the spirit world or whatever the fuck it's called. I can't remember what it's called. And so she forcibly connected them? As the branches of the otherworldly tree secreted viscous black liquid and peculiar entities sprouted, Lumen felt his mind teetering. I know, it was so cool! Lumen felt his mind teetering at the edge of madness. His skin pricked and his flesh twitched unnaturally. At that moment, pure starlight bathed through the world. Not far from him, a minuscule crack expanded into a mythical, enigmatic door of light. Shut up and rush to the door, Termibor said. Without hesitation, Lumin clutched fallen Mercury tightly and sprinted. His eyes shut, Lumin relied on his instincts, understanding of spatial location and distance. Reaching his destination quickly, he leapt into the unknown. After a brief moment, Lumin sensed as though he had ascended from the depths of a profound lake. He opened his eyes and beheld the brownish-green silhouette of the tree not far away, the motel and other buildings cloaked in branches and vines. He witnessed the streets divided by peculiar forces in various sections. And Franca gracefully leaping from the second-story window of the motel. He had departed from an alternate realm within the tree, and yet had not returned to the tangible world. "Hurry! Find an exit!" Franca said. Although she had summoned Madame Judgment and felt a measure of confidence, she had no desire to stay here any longer than she had to. How could a mere Sequence 7 find her, like herself, partake in a battle involving demigods? Lumi nodded and sprinted towards Franca. The more he surveyed, the more he sensed the resemblance of this area to Paramita, a boon from the Great Mother. Could it be that the Bliss Society's operations involved the followers of the Great Mother? Lumin swiftly formed a hypothesis and shouted to Franca, "To the edge of the wilderness!" Drawing from his experience, if this place truly was Paramita, they should be able to escape from the periphery. Franca nodded and followed. Suddenly, the wilderness convulsed and a violent quake and a rumble echoed. The sky darkened and the world itself teetered on the brink of collapse. The branches and vines that had been ensnared and the buildings and streets swiftly withdrew. Shit. Sealed. What a twist! Sealed vessel now? I really do need to get a soundboard. Damn it, God damn it, this fucking year is so fucking expensive. God damn it, motherfucker. They ceased their ravenous feasting, released their grip on their partners, and rose in fear, bloodied and bewildered. In the motel, the bickering, eloping couple ceased their romp, oblivious to the wrongness of their actions, perplexed as to why the sky had darkened so quickly. Anthony, a reed trembling beneath the table, regained his composure and emerged and looked out the window. Gabriel, who had been frantically signing his name, regained his senses. He wondered if the stress had gotten to him. Pavard Neeson, the owner of the bar, set aside his paintbrush, but he couldn't tear his gaze away from the drawing board. Though he had only sketched it hastily, he felt it was the most remarkable piece he had ever produced. In the blink of an eye, all the branches and vines retracted into the tree. Most of the vendors, pedestrians, and residents who had regained their senses beheld the ominously terrifying tree. They didn't understand what had happened, but fear propelled them to swiftly flee from the tree. In that moment, Susanna and Charlotte looked disappointed and frustrated and filled with hatred. The escape of the sacrificial offering signaled a temporary failure in this moment. They promptly departed the alternate realm to evade the repercussion of the demigod-level clash. Susanna, beset by the backlash and influence of godhood, appeared increasingly ethereal, as if she could dissipate at any moment. Lumin and Franca, running to the edge, flickered in her weakened state, yet she lacked the power to influence them. Under normal circumstances, her fusion with the tree granted her the ability to exert her influence from a distance, but the backlash from the interrupted ritual following and the uncontrolled corruption following the Son of God's descent had nearly claimed her life. Son of God's descent? Who the fuck arrived? I don't know. Who? It was just fucking Forz that showed up. Who's the Son of God? The tenacious and evil spirit that she was, Susanna refused to surrender so easily. She yearned to capture Lumion. Once again, the branches and vines of the tree swiftly extended, ensnaring a hapless vendor and hoisting him aloft. It was akin to utilizing the Tree of Shadows. I don't know, maybe I'm dumb, okay, I don't know. Draining energy to gradually lead the target to their demise through a sinister encounter, but the process had become crude and expedited. Everyone trapped within the wilderness erupted in terrifying screams as they fled upon witnessing the trees. The bum of all bums? Amana's here? The eloping couple, wrapped tightly in a blanket, darted out of the motel, following Anthony Reed's wake, and rushed towards the wilderness's edge. Behind them trailed Gabriel, Pavard, and other tenants. One by one, fleeing escapees were snatched up by tree branches and vines. The peddler, who had once served Lumion as extra whiskey sour, stumbled upon a rock on the ground in utter despair. He witnessed turquoise vines creeping upon his body and engulfing him. Sensing the commotion, Lumion turned his head. "Do you plan to go save them?" Franca cursed. "Fucking know your place!" Lumion didn't stop, but he didn't hasten his steps either. He and Franca drew closer to the edge of the wilderness. In that moment, Termi Boris spoke. "Have you not come to terms with your destiny? After enduring the might of inevitability, there shall naturally be a corresponding corruption. From the moment Cordu was obliterated, you became the unfortunate one. It was not I who exerted influence over you, but it was your hapless fate playing its part. As an unfortunate soul, you shall not only suffer ill fortune, but so shall those who are close to you. If it were not for your lack of knowledge and mysticism, which allowed Susanna to uncover the issue within you and begin contacting Hugh about employing the chemical plant explosion for the arrangement, Jenna's mother wouldn't have killed herself, and Jenna's brother would not have descended into madness. If you had been cautious enough when Flameng regained his consciousness and drank with you, you would have remembered to seek an opportunity to engage a genuine psychiatrist. He may not have chosen the path of suicide. If you had not merely forewarned Roar, but had also restricted his movement, he would have not succumbed to the illness once more and met a swift demise. Michelle would not have lost her will to live. All this misfortune is brought upon by you. My existence is not solely a trump card that grants you with boons and the powers to deter others, but also an inescapable curse for you to bear. Only by bowing to inevitability and releasing me from my seal will your misfortune end. If you continue on this path, you shall be unable to save those you cherish. You shall be unable to protect those you wish to protect, only amplifying their misfortune. When the time comes, those pleading for help here shall perish. Gabriel, Charlie, Jenna, Franca too shall all meet their demise." Lumion came to a halt, his countenance twisted in anguish. "Fucking get a grip!" Franca called out. "It's all well and good to do good deeds when things are fine, but now we need to fuck off and get help. Who knows what's gonna come of the demigod battle? Susanna is like an empowered Sequence 5 with godlike abilities. We can't deal with her. Those who don't expect assistance from a villain who enjoys playing pranks with them." In the vicinity of the tree, numerous individuals already dangled from the branches. With a swoosh, Gabriel was hoisted up by the trees, and scattered pages of the Lightseeker script fluttered to the ground. Pavard Neeson, the owner of the bar, stood beside him, his body impaled by spikes. Among the eloping couple, the woman stumbled and ran slower, eventually tripping over a branch and becoming ensnared. The young man, covered in a blanket, grew alarmed and continued on. But fuck, he cursed. Before he could finish his sentence, he had already been spun and darted back towards its partner. Lumion clenched his fist and chuckled. Then are you considered close to me? After all, you reside within my body. Will you encounter misfortune? I know I will face countless failures, yet I will persist, and again in pursuit of that elusive, seemingly insignificant glimmer of hope. If I had chosen to surrender, I would have done so long ago. And now there is still a chance for success. With that, Lumion took another step and continued to sprint to the edge of wilderness. Although Franca couldn't comprehend his mutterings, she was glad to see he made the wise decision. 2 or 3 seconds later, the two of them reached the edge of the wilderness. Lumion maintained a distance from Franca, then enveloped his hands and pushed her out. Caught off guard, Franca watched in shock as she left the wilderness. Her gaze turned to Lumion. It's so peak! It's so peak! Lumion smiled and spoke. Once I shared their despair, pain, and longing for aid, and during that time, someone extended a helping hand. With those words, he pivoted and ran back to the tree. In the dim expanse of the wilderness, crimson flames ignited upon his body. This time, the fiery cloak no longer isolated him from the garments, scorching his skin and flesh. He intended to use the pain to resist the desire he would encounter. As he ran, his gaze locked onto Susanna, yet he saw not only the fallen tree spirit, but also the figure etched in his memory, the one who illuminated his path. It's so peak. It's so peak. Okay. Choosing music again. Sounds good. Susanna's eyes fixated on Lumion as he dashed to her. His body engulfed in flame. He absorbed energy from the surroundings. She absorbed energy from the surroundings. Her goal was to restore her combat ability as quick as possible. She wasn't worried about Lumion causing her harm. Positioned at the top of the tree, she knew he couldn't reach her. Moreover, she was capable with the being one with the tree made her nearly invulnerable. Fucking alchemy. Without godhood, any attacks would only cause her minor injuries, incapable of killing her. Lumion sprinted to an area where the tree branches and vines entangled. The green foliage tried to ensnare and pierce him, but his aura forced them back. Suddenly a rumbling shook the ground, and the tree descended rapidly. Violent tremors from the wilderness made it difficult for Lumion to advance. A tremble like an earthquake shook the crystal chandelier in the banquet hall. Terrified expressions appeared on the faces of the most people present. The team assigned to protect Hugh consisted of Immer, a mixed-blood individual, Valentine, a warrior pathway beyonder named Antoine. Sensing the anomaly, they tacitly sent Amir to investigate. He rushed to the window and looked out. Immer observed the several houses in Anarchy Street, and others had tilted to a certain degree, but they had not yet collapsed. Their surface were covered in brownish-green branches and vines. In comparison, the prominent feature was the brownish-green tree situated on Anarchy Street. The scene only lasted a few seconds before returning to normal. What happened? Hugh asked. Anomalies have occurred on Anarchy Street, the Rossignol and Rue de Bleu Blanche. As Jenna, who had approached a nearby window but missed the witnessing scene, heard the street name, she froze. Ciel. Franca, she thought. Had they encountered something? Her heart sank as she looked up at Hugh. She noticed a curl forming on his lips. It's him and his group of heretics! Jenna's mind reached a conclusion. A darkness enveloped her. Could Franca and Ciel withstand that? Should I rush to them? What do I do? At that moment, Jenna felt as if pillars supporting her, her two friends who had always stood by her side, were about to crumble. It was all the fault of these heretics. Her thoughts drifted to Franca's words when she consumed the potion and became an assassin. Contact with evil gods will bring nothing but disaster. Not only will it drive a person to madness and strip away their true self, it will also drag everyone around them into darkness. If we don't eliminate those, the influence of the evil gods will persist. The pain will return, unending. And now Hugh stood at the center of it all. Jenna lowered her head, unable to meet Hugh's gaze. Afraid her eyes would betray the pain she felt within. Hatred consumed her, yet she only reminded herself that her brother was alive, albeit with ailments that could be cured. If he lost his sister next, he may truly spiral into madness. As the banquet concluded, the factory owners provided their compensation after I settle our debts. I'll take Julian and leave. We'll find another place far from here. She tried to soothe herself. Why is there another anomaly? Hugh asked. I witnessed the tree, Immer said. It has appeared multiple times in Trier's history, but has never been fully resolved. Ever since joining the Purifier team in Trier, he had learned the hidden dangers lurking beneath the ground. He and his superiors and his teammates couldn't fathom why Trier had been established to top such things in the first place. Now that anomaly has been discovered, it won't be long until it's suppressed. I don't know, Chris. I don't know. I don't actually even know who's here. It says like there's 15 people, and I see like 2 people in chat, so I don't fucking know. As a member of the elite Purifiers team, he knew that Trier differed from other countries' capitals due to the perpetual underground dangers. Both the former royal family and the current parliament government had agreed to 2 churches' secret dispatching of an angel each or place grade 0 artifacts in Trier. Once the anomaly caused by the peculiar tree was exposed, it would swiftly face a devastating blow, although it couldn't be completely eradicated. After the swift and violent descent of the tree, the wilderness stabilized, and everyone remained suspended from mid-air. Lumion regained his balance and continued sprinting to the tree. At that moment, Susanna had regained a significant portion of her strength. Lumion's figure appeared in her eyes. Behind Lumion, a shadow detached itself. It was Charlotte. Having not been the host of the ritual and being far from the treetop, she had not suffered the backlash or the corruption, and her strength had not waned. The iron-black bullet was too distant and lacked... suddenly, a gunshot pierced through the air. The iron-black bullet was far too distant and lacked precision. It grazed Charlotte's body, but disrupted her plans. Wearing a blouse, Franca emerged from the wilderness, clutching her brass revolver. "Don't you think I'm on your fucking team?" she shouted. "Oh, Franca, my queen! Oh, I love her! Oh, what a dude, what an actual queen, excuse me?" Noticing that the streets had returned to normal, Hugh made his way back to the center of the banquet hall. "Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to have you join us for this condolence banquet." How the fuck is it an honor to have you join me for a condolence banquet? Wouldn't you be like, I'm glad you're all here, but I'm sorry it's under like such circumstances. What an honor? Oh my god, what an honor. You all had fucking a family member die? Hilarious. What are the fucking odds? Oh, I did it. Okay. Odds slightly better now that you mentioned I did do that. But we don't know this, okay? We don't know this quite yet. Yet another accident has occurred in the market district, as you can see. We cannot continue like this. We must establish a more efficient and adaptable system to handle such situations. I'm always going to be faster than you, Bug. I want you to remember that, okay? I got it. I got it like that. You may have even read the book, and I still got there first. Did Hugh know that someone would suffer a mental breakdown due to the chemical plant an explosion and go mad? Was he deliberately mentioning it in his speech as if a criminal returning to the crime scene reveling in his masterpiece? If our suspicions were correct, Julian's breakdown may have been influenced by these heretics. Can he be cured? If I don't sever the source, even if I leave the market district, there may be hidden dangers and lingering problems. Her pupils dilated, reflecting Hugh's figure. Everyone, Emmer, Valentine, and Antoine's expressions darkened, their gazes falling as they heard Hugh's implicit accusation against the churches. The alternate space that accompanied the Tree of Shadow lay in ruins, some areas that were coated in pitch-black mucus, while others... Oh, you're fucking kidding. This is so cringe. I didn't even fucking monetize this video. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, I didn't even monetize this stream. God, and I wonder why I'm broke. Okay, I swear to God, I did it because I was like, you know, you guys should, fuck it, I gotta stop. The alternate space that accompanied the Tree of Shadow lay in ruins. Some areas were coated in pitch-black mucus, while others bore gaping holes. Suddenly, a glimmer of light emerged. I did, Kami? Oh well, too late. It grew brighter and brighter, akin to a transformed sun, illuminating every nook and cranny. A female figure draped in a white robe adorned with gold threads emerged from the radiant source. She appeared to be crafted of pure light. The guardian angel of Trier, Saint Viev. Amidst the applaud, Hugh Artois, having concluded his speech, mingled with the families of the victims, champagne glass in hand. Jenna closed her eyes and wandered towards the long table dressed in white tablecloth. As she ate, she slowly approached Hugh Artois in a daze. Drawing near, just 2 meters away, she assumed a stance that suggested a conversation with Monsieur Member of Parliament. Surrounded by his team and guarded by the official Beyonders, Hugh noticed Jenna. He smiled warmly. Jenna passed by Secretary Ryan and positioned herself half a step away. Before their conversation could start, the ground trembled once again. Cassandra, Hugh, Artois, and other members turned their bodies instinctively, gazing out the window, their concern evident. Thank you, Kami. Oh, made it a base. Shit. Witnessing this, Jenna closed her eyes again, took a step forward, and raised a fork in her hand towards Hugh. All her emotions suppressed within her heart erupted. You wretched politician, the bringer of disaster and darkness. You heretic, your conscience devoured by a dog. You are the bastard responsible for my mother's death and my brother's descent into madness. Die! Indeed, with heretics surrounding you and the protection of official beyonders, anyone attempting to confront you would meet their demise. But what if an assassin has no intention of leaving here alive? Jenna channeled all her rage and pain into the long-handled silver fork in her grasp, unleashed the assassin's mighty blow and aimed for Hugh's right eye. At that moment, she glimpsed a surprise, confusion, and fear etched upon his face. She witnessed Hugh's face frantically glancing towards Cassandra. Cassandra's line of sight was obstructed by the purifier Immer, who had subsequently suddenly stepped diagonally, leaving her unaware of the imminent danger. Immer, my God! Immer said, "Oh, you're gonna kill that guy? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I just right in between? Oh my God, how could this happen? I swear I'm not like this. I'm normally very good. How could this happen? Oh, what? Oh my God, a heretic died on my watch? Oh, I'm gonna get yelled at. I'm not gonna get my bonus. Oh, what are the odds? With a squelching sound, the silver fork in Jenna's hand plunged into Hugh's eye socket, piercing his brain. Hugh's expression froze. The fear, confusion, and terror remained etched on his visage. Jenna watched as blood gushed forth, and Artois' countenance crumbled. Surrounding her, sparks erupted from whether firearms or supernatural abilities. She closed her eyes with a serene smile, surrendering to her fate. Mother, I see the light. I see the light fading from this fucking loser's eyes! Get fucked, loser! Let's go! I see the light. It's all over for you, you fucking loser! Let's go! Get fucking rolled! Bro, she's dying, but she took out a member of parliament! What? She took out the member of parliament! Let's go! Rest in peace, bozo! Get fucking rolled! I am so... Oh, get fucking rolled! Oh, man. Hugh's initial reaction was one of surprise and confusion as he beheld the silver light emanating from the fork thrust. He found it hard to, and I wonder why I'm not fucking monetized. Have you seen the way I talk? This is why I need people. I need more people like Sal. Okay, I literally don't even make shit off of this. Like, the way I talk is so. I gotta stop talking like this. The assassin didn't appear quite formidable, and despite the retired veteran, he had left military service 5 years ago to pursue a career in politics. His combat skills were no longer quite as sharp. With an adversary a mere step apart, beating the attack was nearly impossible. Disregarding him, even a sequence 9 or 8 would struggle to dodge a mighty blow from an assassin. especially one who had stealthily approached from behind. Naturally, some sequence 9 or 8s had the ability to sense danger or hostility ahead of time. In an instant, Hugh cast his gaze upon Cassandra, the three Beyonders, and his subordinate Rhine. However, what met his gaze was Cassandra's red hair, her body in line of sight obscured by Immer, as well as the common and different gazes of the official Beyonders. Valentine had reacted immediately but restrained himself, and Rhine and Margot and Bedova, though eager to use their powers to save him, dared not expose their boons. At that moment, Hugh was overwhelmed by a profound sense of despair. "Save me, you all!" With a squinching sound, the silver plunged effortlessly into his eye, propelled with all the force Jenna could muster, penetrated his brain, leaving only a small portion of the handle outside. Bro, all three of them were like, "Oh my god, our VIP escort died, no." Is it... Sir, hear me out, okay? Failure on our part. You should write me up. I'm just saying, mention in your write-up, this motherfucker believed in the mother tree of desire, okay? Just put that in your fucking notes, okay? Give it to your superior. See what they say. They're gonna give me a fucking Medal of Honor. Fuck you think this is, huh? I'm not... Go ahead, write me up. Bro. Give me a week off, okay? Fucking suspend me. I got no issues. But put that in the notes. I'm just saying. Ask anyone. We all know. He was evil. He yearned to reach out and grasp something, but his arm wouldn't even rise. I haven't become president. I haven't witnessed the arrival of the great beings. I haven't received the boon of godhood. I cannot die to a feeble assassin. A barrage of thoughts flashed through Hugh's mind. His body slumped to the ground and darkness enveloped his vision. Hugh Artois, Member of Parliament, collapsed onto the ground and his heart ceased to beat. Let's go! Jenna, my fucking goat! Jenna, her eyes shut and a smile adorning her face, was struck by bullets by nearby Bureau 7 agents. Bro, all these fucking bums. Bro, just, she's not even resisting. Try to take her in to see why she did it. Bro, these Bureau 7 fucking losers. A bullet struck her shoulder, another her ribs. The pain contorted her expression, and her body recoiled. She opened her eyes and beheld Rhine and other devotees of evil gods glaring at her with hatred and panic. In the next moment, a golden revolver, its chamber loaded. Immer surveyed the area and said, "I have already subdued the assassin." As the revolver pressed against her head. Dude. Shoulder and rib shot, she could live that. She could survive through that. If that rib shot didn't hit any vital organs, she could make it. Verify if most one member of parliament can be saved. No one is to leave. He made it clear that he intended to escort Jenna back to the cathedral and inquire on the spot about the motive. Immer coming in double clutch? Bro, Immer's just been like fucking... Immer went from like, I didn't even know this motherfucker's name like 5 minutes ago, to my fucking... Put him on the GOAT list. I don't know, he gets like fucking 100 points to Griffith. What? Is he mandated punishers? No. Is he from the EBS church? Give 100 GOAT points to the fucking EBS church. Just this guy alone is hard carrying. As the Tree of Shadow descended, the various Inquisition? Is it Inquisition? I don't know. Whatever. Wherever Aimer is from, 100 fucking GOAT points to that church. Fuck him. Dude. Oh. Yes, purifier. Oh, purifiers, not punishers. Sorry. Purifiers. Dude, 100 fucking GOAT points to them. Lumion perceived that Susanna could no longer stir his desires from a distance as she did before. So she turned around, intending to confront Charlotte first. The crimson flames enveloping Lumion's body burned with intensity, scorching his garments and searing his skin. His torment stimulated his mind, allowing him to maintain a level of clarity. Even for pyromaniacs, such incineration posed a threat. Moreover, as time passed, the damage would worsen, endangering his life. Oh, mandated oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, sorry. Mandated punisher, of course, that's... Yeah, sorry, you're right. If it were not for the alms monk boon and the internal struggle within the Tree of Shadow, Lumian's spirituality would have likely been strained by the self-immolation. Upon seeing Lumian turn and observe Franca dashing towards her with her revolver, sliding across a layer of frost beneath her feet, Charlotte abandoned her plans for a surprise attack and readied herself to return to the tree. She acted, her body instantaneously grew pliable. She acted as a serpent-like creature, utilizing the intertwining vines and branches to swiftly retreat into the tree. At that moment, Charlotte's body froze, akin to facing a dragon head-on, confronting a predator at the apex of the biological hierarchy. Not far from her, Anthony Reed, the information broker, emerged from an iron-black gas street lamppost suspended by vines. Is this the fucking Saint Viev? Is that why she's shitting herself so bad? At some point, his dark brown eyes had transformed to a pale golden hue, adopting a vertical orientation. He was a psychiatrist and had just employed, my king! In ancient times referred to as dragonmite, the brownish-green vines and branches surrounding Anthony, manipulated by Susanna rather than the Tree of Shadow, cowered and retreated. Observing Charlotte's descent into madness and confusion, rendering her unable to evade Lumian's attacks, Susanna, who had desperately absorbed vitality, narrowed her eyes and cursed, "You shall all perish! Today you shall all die!" On top of the tree, new tree trunks, distinct from the main body, shot forth like javelins, aimed at impaling Lumian. Apart from utilizing the ability of the fallen tree spirit, Susanna had not yet regained sufficient strength. Lumian had foreseen this, and with a roll positioned himself within a tree where Charlotte had aimlessly fled. The trunk impaled the ground nearby, pounding the wilderness. Lumian rose to his feet, engulfed in flames, and said, "Fucking bring it on!" I did not know. I thought he was probably going to be a sequence 9 Doctors. I didn't think he'd be a fucking mid-sequencer. He and Lumian are on equal footing right now. That's crazy work. Obviously, Lumian's doing it. Yeah, I'm doing when I'm going the cringe shit. But like, he's a sequence 7, okay? The enchanting, pure, and delicate visage shattered, and the red and white fluid splattered. Wait. An iron bullet flew from the classic revolver of Franca and struck Charlotte's head with precision. Let's go, my queen! Oh my god, dude! Franca and Jenna are like actually pulling their fucking weight in diamonds. Holy shit, my queens! With that go to fucking hell, Susanna roared. With that cry, brown branches, green vines, and thick limbs surged forth in a multitude of forms, converging upon Lumian, Franca, and Anthony. Despite the nightmarish scene unfolding before them, Lumian sensed no peril. Until Susanna regained a certain level of strength, an attack that consumed a significant amount of spirituality posed no threat. Lumian surged forth once again, carrying the crimson flame that devoured his flesh. Venturing deep into the primordial forest-like setting, vines ignited, flowers turned to ash, branches charred, and yet none impeded the enemy's advance towards the tree. Suddenly, the objects recoiled, drawing the suspended humans back in the embrace of the tree. Susanna had thought it through. There was no need to squander every energy to vent her rage. It was wiser to wait as they approached. She could not accept her current weakness. This was one of the reasons why she refrained from invoking the incantation to seek assistance. Before dragging the offering from the tree, the Son of God dared not reveal himself in Trier. In future, Susanna possessed a measure of confidence and needed to push the offering an extent, securing the protection of the ritual. Only then could she utilize her fusion with the tree to confront the Son of God. The Son of God was astonishingly deranged. He would never restrain the corruption he may inflict upon his subordinates. As for Lady Moon, she had merely pledged to intercept potential saboteurs. Susanna dared not permit devotees of other deities to enter the tree. Lumion raced through the abruptly vacated wilderness and dilapidated streets, sprinting through the brownish-green tree. Franca and Anthony each selected their respective angles of attack. The fortunate vendor, pedestrian, and tenants who had yet to be ensnared by the branches seized the opportunity to flee. We have to go to 263, you said, Kami? Bro, I don't know how much... Oh, really, I did try. I tried so hard to push it. I didn't make it, but... 7 chapters in an hour and a half? Normally this is like 4 chapter territory. I didn't make it, but damn it if I didn't try. It didn't take long for Lumion, Franca, and Anthony to approach the tree, stepping into the effective range of Susanna. One of them had run out of mysticism smelling salt and was consumed by flames. His skin grew numb, but his flesh still burned with pain. Another moved gracefully, constantly shifting positions. The third employed the psychiatric's placate ability to pacify his emotions. In the ethereal crown of the tree, Susanna, positioned only 4 or 5 meters above ground, grunted. Franca saw her reflection in Susanna's eyes, and fear gripped Franca. Yet this fear didn't arise from the outside world or grow abnormally intense. It originated from her understanding of the current situation. Susanna, lacked with a tree, couldn't be treated like a Sequence 5. She had to be regarded as a weakened Sequence 4. Franca believed that Susanna would swiftly dispatch Lumion and the information broker. Before saving anyone, she had to save herself. Franca halted, her yearning for life impossible to suppress. She struggled, torn between the urge to flee and the nagging feeling she shouldn't abandon her teammates. Susanna's eyes shifted to Anthony. The information broker, his emotions now stabilized, shuddered. A spectator afflicted by severe mental deficiencies is all too easy to deal with. A helpless sigh escaped his lips. When his placate failed, he trembled and retreated to a corner. Suddenly, Susanna incapacitated Lumion's companions, leaving them unable to offer aid, and looked at Lumion, who stood less than 10 meters away. As an evil spirit, Susanna possessed boundless extremism and persistence. Despite the ritual causing the great uproar, prompting numerous saints and even angels to rush and intervene, making its success unlikely, the tree could not be destroyed. It wouldn't even suffer harm as significantly unless the EBS or the God of Steam and Machinery were willing to bury millions of people residing in Trier and expose even graver underlying problems. As long as Lumion remained within her grasp, the sacrificial offering that perfectly sealed an angel, it wouldn't take long for Susanna to attempt the ritual again. Hence, Susanna desired to get Lumion alive. In an instant, Lumion's pace slowed, his mind consumed. I mustn't die. I mustn't. If I perish, Aurora will have no hope of revival. I must survive and uncover the truth behind Cordou's disaster. I must understand why Aurora believes in inevitability. Lumion's pace grew sluggish, his expression contorting. The fiery crimson flame that engulfed him continued to burn, inflicting pain but sharpening his senses. The more aware he became, the stronger his desire to live. The fallen tree spirit summoned an array of vines, branches, and tree trunks from the tree, ensnaring Lumion within a small circular perimeter of less than 10 meters. Damp flowers sprouted from the roots, vines, and branches, releasing odorless anesthetic gas. In that moment, Lumion's yearning for life alighted with his other thoughts. Work is going to be so rough tomorrow because my throat's fucking cooked. Luvian, please don't cut that. It's bad. I just realized it now. To escape and survive, he had to press forward and defeat Susanna. Lumion surged forth once again, gathering semi-illusory flames behind him, spiraling them towards Susanna. He didn't expect this assault to harm the tree spirit. After all, Susanna had merged with the tree, granting her formidable defenses. Susanna's objective was to momentarily disrupt, Lumine's objective was to momentarily disrupt Susanna's focus and impede her. This time, the Crimson Fire Ravens managed to breach the ethereal barrier. They passed through the weakened defenses and hurtled towards Susanna. Branches encased Susanna, enveloping her in a wooden spear. Amidst the rumbling, the plant-like encasement exploded. Vast amounts of slumberous gas corroded Lumine's body, but they were swiftly consumed and evaporated by the flames. The charred scent of his flesh neutralized the remaining fumes, leaving only a small portion to infiltrate Lumion. His thoughts swallowed and his head spun, yet he continued moving. Harnessing his momentum, Lumion alternated between his left and right feet, launching a forceful kick against the tree trunk, propelling himself up by a couple meters. Behind him, a colossal fireball took shape. His eyes reflected the wooden sphere that in which was Susanna. It seemed as though he intended to hurl himself at the treetop, obliterating the encasing plants. This particular stance bore an evident element of showmanship. Lumine's desire to perform had been subtly provoked by Susanna. Susanna grinned, allowing her sharp green tree trunks to emerge from the surface, like porcupine bearings. Once Lumion sustained grave injuries, the branches forming the sphere would unfurl, taking complete control of their captive. As the massive fireball solidified, Lumion began his descent. Yet instead of lunging, he regarded her with an air of superiority. Yet he refrained from attacking. Still, he continued his descent, and Susanna wore a puzzled expression. Only when Lumion touched down below the treetop did he make his move. The fireball detonated, propelling him towards the trunk of the tree like a cannonball. In his left hand, he wielded fallen Mercury. Right from the start, Lumion hadn't set his eyes on Susanna. His sole objective was to strike the tree with fallen Mercury. Without the enhancement of Turbiboris, the fallen Mercury wouldn't be enough to alter the fate of the tree. However, Lumion was confident that Susanna had fused with it to an extent. As the name Fallen Tree Spirit implied, the tree was necessary to embody a tree spirit. An understanding that derived not only from Lumion's observation, but also Franca's speculation. In essence, when fallen Mercury pierced the shadow, there was a strong possibility it would alter Susanna's fate itself. Lumion's actions were intended to deceive Susanna into overconfidence, ensuring she wouldn't impede his approach. What a king. And Susanna's manipulation of his desire to perform only fueled Lumion's confidence. Though acting was a waste of time and could potentially lead to missed opportunities, it also served as a cover. With a loud crash, Lumion and fallen Mercury collided with the tree trunk, ribs cracked, wrists snapped, and his entire body battered. But he managed to drive the dirk through the outer bark into the second layer. As expected, Lumion didn't see a torrent of scenes, instead saw an illusory river belonging to Susanna. In the next instant, his desire was manipulated as a barrage of javelins rained down upon him. Releasing his hold of the dirk, Lumion entrusted the rest to fallen Mercury. He plummeted to the ground, using the pain to reclaim consciousness, and with a swift roll, evaded the javelins. While Susanna realized Lumion's intent, she felt vexed and angry. The previous use of the dirk had left a deep impression. While she wasn't overly concerned for her safety with her connection to the tree, it would be arduous for her to be slain, even if she encountered a saint. At that moment, fallen Mercury shattered, long and worn and weakened. It could no longer endure. Our greatest ally. We lost two great allies today, not the least of which was Jenna. However, with its destruction also brought about an end to the fate exchange. Which should have been several minutes to complete. It didn't stir any fate within Susanna. It merely bestowed upon her the fate stored within the blade. Susanna froze, purple flames erupting from her body. Fallen Mercury had bestowed her upon the fate of the tree's roots being consumed by an unseen fire. In mere seconds, the purple flames vanished, leaving Susanna reduced to ash. Absolute fucking cinema. Absolute fucking cinema, dude. What? What a king. Short king like yourself. I will have you know I am a solid 5'4", okay? Who you calling short, bitch? The branches and vines pursued Lumion swiftly withdrew as if responding to an unseen command. The trunk of the tree crashed down. Gasping for breath, Lumion looked up as he sprinted. At that moment his eyes fell upon the incinerated form of Susanna, consumed by the vegetative sphere that enveloped her. She's dead. Relief overtook him. She's fucking dead. He crumbled to the ground. The crimson flames that had enveloped him extinguished immediately. With great effort, Lumion struggled to prop himself up, his back pressed against a vine and branch adorning the wall of the motel. He resembled a forsaken vagabond, abandoned by the world, a hint of derision in his voice as he observed the tree. Dude, Kami, have you played fucking Obscure, Claire Obscure? Because, bro, you're using all the fucking songs. Among the initial groups of victims, whose essence had been drained, 3 to 4 individuals remained suspended near above the ground, already weakened. Most of their remaining vitality escaped as they suffered a harsh impact, causing them to lose consciousness on the spot. There was still hope for their salvation. Maybe. The hundreds who had been suspended but not yet lost a significant portion of their essence sustained injuries from the fall, though their lives were not in imminent danger. They rose to their feet and escaped. Gabriel's complexion turned pale, bruises marring his hands and feet. Rather than fleeing, his instinct led him to stoop and collect the Lightseeker script from the ground. The couple, entwined together in the suspension, exchanged curses for a hindrance, but they supported each other as they limped forward, their legs injured from the fall. Charred and weary, Lumion settled on the street, leaning against the motel, situated perilously close to the tree, tilting his head back against the wall, wearing a faint smile. Within the confines of the tree, Lady Moon beheld a tumultuous clash unfolding, with numerous angels and saints joining the fray. Her faction faced mounting pressure to retreat. Should this continue, the two churches may resort to drastic measures beseeching divine intervention. Lady Moon resolved. Deprived of various abilities and ensnared by various prohibitions, she pressed against the bulge in her abdomen and parted lips. An ear-piercing screech erupted in this alternate realm, causing the tree of shadow before her to undergo a metamorphosis. Upon the branches and mist-shrouded bark, which depicted scenes of the past, sprang back into existence. Many were demigods emerging from their respective histories with vacant, icy expressions. Resurrection. Empowered by the divine fetus nestled within her womb. That's the Son of God? In the uniqueness of the Tree of Shadow, Lady Moon temporarily revived the accumulated desires from over millennia into their corporeal form. Though the revival would be short-lived, the beings were notably weaker than before. The sudden influx of demigods into the battle within mere seconds could profoundly impact the chaos. There's 2 fucking sons of gods in this fucking shithole? Listen, I'm just gonna say it. I think you take all of Intis and you just set it all on fire. I think you go, listen guys, we're gonna have to put up a Forsaken Land of the Gods type fucking barrier around them. Like, we can't do anything around this, okay? Just fucking, you guys can, like, fucking do everything that you guys want to do. Just leave the rest of us out of it, okay? You guys are literally just fucking just actual cancer. Just fucking, we're gonna isolate you guys. You guys do your own fucking bum shit that you're doing. We don't want any part of it. In an eerie silence, the resurrected phantoms disintegrated underneath the scorching sunlight. Lady Moon seized the opportunity to escape and to summon Paramita, who had not yet fallen into disarray, merging with it and vanishing. On Avenue de Marche, the four-story building that housed the Member of Parliament, Immer refrained from immediately questioning Jenna, an assassin. Instead, he directed 2 agents from Bureau 7 to tend to her wounds. Dude, Immer is just collecting gold points. Oh my god. He gets in the way of Cassandra. He saves her when she's being gunned down. And now he tells them to fucking heal her wounds? Dude, is he a fucking... Could Immer be the guy... Could Immer be the guy that Frank has been talking to the whole time? Like the guy from the official Beyonder from that she talks to from the curly-haired baboon society? Maybe Franco was like, hey, like, this is a friend of mine, like, if some shit happens, try to do what you can, like, is that possible? Because, like, if not, Immer is just a fucking, I mean, Immer's goated either way, but, like, that would give some semblance as to why he's so fucking goated. Because Immer is, like, just fucking, bro, the EBS church? I'm putting EBS Church right behind fucking the Evernight Church at this point. This is some so goated shit. What the fuck? Once a rumble. Once again, the ground beneath them trembled. Those near the windows caught glimpses of Anarchy Street, Rue de Rossignol, and Rue de Blue Blanche intermittently flickering with light. Approaching them were clergymen garbed in white robes. This development disrupted the interrogation of Immer, Valentine, and others. After a while, Angolome de Francois strode into the banquet hall. Upon hearing Immer's report, Angolome glanced at Jenna and instructed Travis Everett, bring all the attendees of the banquet to the headquarters for interrogation. Leave the assassin. We shall handle questioning her. Also keep Moswa Member of Parliament's team. Everett raised no objection. As the hall emptied, Angolme turned to the 2 Bureau 7 agents standing beside Jenna and instructed, escort the assassin to the lounge. We must ensure she doesn't overhear us. Angolme then approached Cassandra, Ryan, and the others and spoke, Hi there. There is information we must acquire. Indeed, Moswa Member of Parliament has died. According to law, his position is vacated immediately. In other words, you are no longer part of his team. The immunity you once enjoyed is no more. So before we engage in our discussion, let us proceed with notarizations. Dude, the official Beyonders are cooking so hard. And they're like, all right, so here's what we're gonna do, okay? You know your friend that just died? Absolute fucking coincidence, by the way. Now we're gonna spread these booty cheeks and we're gonna find out what you're hiding, okay? Because, brother, all your fucking immunity's gone. Let's have a fucking chat out in the open now, shall we? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Upon hearing his words, Cassandra and others' expression underwent a marked change. Meanwhile, in the lounge, Jenna, who had calmed herself after assassinating Hugh, heard a tumultuous commotion from the hall. One of the armed agents from Bureau 7 tasked with keeping watch hastened to the door. Seizing the opportunity, Jenna's heart skipped a beat as the plan materialized. Her countenance transformed and she gazed past the remaining guard. Though intensively trained, the agent possessed an understanding beyond that of ordinary individuals. Today's abnormal occurrence had unfolded, culminating in the assassin of a member of parliament. Reports indicated a battle involving supernatural forces transpired within the hall. Subconsciously, he entertained the notion of turning around, but not halfway through the motion, caution compelled him. Yet this proved to be the only opening Jenna needed. Already restrained by handcuffs, she balled her fist and struck the agent's shoulder and neck with force, sending him to the ground. Before the agent near the door could react, Jenna positioned her hands on the windowsill, propelled herself upwards, and crashed through the glass and descended into the back alley with the grace of a feather. I love her. I love her. I hate her, but I love her. Suppressing the pain from her wound, she sought refuge in the shadows of a nearby corner and departed the building. Lady Moon weaved through different directions, employing various abilities until she emerged from Paramita. At that moment, she found herself in Quartier Erast, northwest of Trier. Lady Moon surveyed her surroundings and sighed discreetly. Had the tree's deeper intrusion of the Fourth Epoch Trier served the Great Mother's interest, she wouldn't have joined the Bliss Society's mission. She had no desire to reveal herself. It was well known that those controlled desires often fell prey to their own desires. Without delay, Lady Moon slipped into the beige building from its side entrance. Thank you, Kami. Fucking stop, Kami, now? How much fucking more? A few hundred meters away, a golden retriever sat silently beside a woman in green. It's Audrey, my fucking queen! My actual queen! No, my actual queen is Sharon, but she's not here yet, so we make do with Audrey. No! They observe Lady Moon's every move in the grand structure with its numerous steeples. It was the Sacred Heart cloister of the EBS Church. In the wilderness on Anarchy Street, a Rue de Rossignol and the buildings on Rue de Blue Blanche crumbled. Lumiere witnessed the tree on the brink of sinking into the ground and couldn't help but taunt the angel within. Well, I'm not that unlucky after all. Are you trying to play off the role of a charred corpse? Franca said. As she spoke, she retrieved the healing agent she had obtained and offered it to Lumiere. Lumiere's injuries weren't as severe as they seemed. Fatal Lady Moon entered the central EBS church. Yeah, no, I did get that. I did. I'm still so excited by the Audrey Cathedral. I did, Kami. Oh, I'm so excited about Audrey, though. Teehee. The cloister which is for fanatics of the church? No! Oh, shit! Oh, I didn't get that! I knew it was the EBS. I didn't... Oh, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that. Oh, shit. It's Go Jover, bro. Oh my god. Soon he felt his body regenerating. At this moment, the wilderness teetered on the edge of collapse. Can you move? Frank asked. We must leave this place. Okay, Lumiere rose to his feet. After taking a couple of steps, intending to retrieve the charred tree trunk which had been a part of the tree before departing. Just as Lumiere grasped the trunk, something caught his peripheral vision. Within the depression left behind by the tree's submersion, a hazy, translucent creature darted past. Lumiere's pupils dilated. It was a diaphanous, distinct figure resembling a lizard. An uncanny resemblance to the elf that had encountered in his dream. The creature that emerged from Aurora's mouth. Can we end it here, guys? Do we keep going? Can we end it here? Fuck me, dude. You're kidding. The EBS church is fucking cooked? Lumiere had always held the lizard-like elf he saw. Why not? Was merely a figment of his dreaming mind. Yet now he saw it. It was undeniably real. Moreover, it appeared in Paramita. Could it be that the lizard crawling out of Aurora's mouth was not a fabrication? What did it symbolize? What were its intentions? This agitation stirred something within Lumion, making him feel that he could regain some of his memories and determine their authenticity. Yet this time, the scenes didn't flicker through his mind as they did during psychiatric treatments or during Madame Polly's words. In that moment, Chermy Boris's voice resounded. Do you believe that I am responsible for all that has surrounded you? Do you believe you can escape Susanna, who is nearly a demigod with a backup plan, by solely relying on the efforts of a sealed me and a Sequence 7 Beyonder? Do you believe that Susanna's failure is solely due to an evil being, extremism, impatience, and lack of preparation? So fucking what is it? Lumion burst out. Chermy Boris remained silent, as if sensing and comprehending something. In an instant, Lumion's joy surged. He felt a heavy burden on his shoulders dissipate. Could it mean that Aurora truly fell under the creature of that lizard-like creature? Why did she remain oblivious to any abnormalities when awake? No. She must have sent something. The correct interpretation of the letter's order should be we are getting weirder. The people around us need our help. ASAP. Why are you lost in thought? Franca nudged. We have to go. Lumion shook off his daze and dashed with Franca to the end of Anarchy Street. Could that fucking lizard be Aurora? That doesn't even fucking make any sense. I don't know. During this process, two revelations dawned upon him. Chermy Boris displayed an astute understanding of many things. It is inconceivable for him to remain oblivious to Susanna's offering of him to the mother as a sacrifice, with me as the primary vessel. Therefore, he never anticipated the outcome of Susanna breaking the seal from the beginning. He made those claims purely as a bluff. What he didn't foresee was my choice to deceive Susanna, compelling him to provide me assistance based on the information she provided. No, he must have considered this possibility, but he had nothing to lose by attempting it. Fucking hell, his intentions are sinister. Since Susanna sought guidance from the mother and acknowledged the possibility of an angel sealed within, why didn't she contemplate the potential transmission of power through a seal? She prayed for power capable of withstanding the angel's power. I failed to perceive it then and became dangerously close to corruption. Had I not escaped the tree in the nick of time, I would have succumbed to corruption. Why didn't Susanna seek assistance from the start? Could it be corruption posed a threat to her? Indeed, despite unforeseen circumstances in the Cordu ritual, the Padre and the host of the ceremony was shielded by inevitability. He did not transform into a monstrous entity or merge with a three-headed giant and escaped. Susanna also planned on relying on the protection of the ritual, and she bought time. She did not know. She did not target and control me initially because she knew that pushing too hard would prompt the angel to intervene. Thus, she endeavored to create illusions for me, fostering a belief that resistance and escape was within reach. Only when I broached the subject of Angel did she stall for time, revealing her true trump card, biding her time for me to make the wrong choice with Chermy Boris. Although she did not anticipate the attack from the ghost, had it not been for the external intervention exploiting the crack created by the ghost, I would have remained trapped in the Tree of Shadows depths. Fucking hell, beautiful actors truly possess the knack to deceive others. As Lumion and Franca sprinted forth, their surroundings suddenly transformed. His head spun and his vision became hazy. When his sight cleared, Anarchy Street was no longer in sight. Instead, he found himself on Verdant Hillside, facing Madame Magician? Adorned in an orange dress, it was her. As if sensing his unspoken question, Lumion glanced around but couldn't spot Franca. Madame Magician smiled and spoke. The Two of Cups departed with her Major Arcana card to attend some matters. The Two of Cups? That's Franca. She's one of us. Her codename is Two of Cups, just as you are Seven of Wands. You have officially joined our ranks. Speak to the Two of Cups later and introduce her to our organization, and have her introduce our organization. I won't say much. Franca is not only a member of the Curly-Haired Baboon Society, but also this organization using tarot cards? He and Franca were true comrades. Madam Magician scrutinized Lumien's charred countenance and fragmented attire, and from somewhere produced a simple brown suit and tossed it to him. Change into this later. While it's not scandalous for Trierans to roam around nude, one mustn't entirely succumb to their surroundings. Tell me in detail what has transpired recently, Madam Magician said. Although I know you would encounter followers of evil gods and become entangled with them, I did not anticipate you becoming so heavily embroiled in such things. Lumien recounted all that he had been through, starting from his arrival in Trier to his use of the summoning dance to lure Susanna. He focused on the ritual, Termiboris, and the lizard-like creature. This is abnormal, Madam Magician said. Both Termiboris and that elf are far from ordinary. It wasn't Termiboris who aided you in enhancing Fallen Mercury's abilities within the tree and allowed the Monsterigos to arrive. Not him? Lumien said. Who? I don't know either. What I can tell you is that the seal of the Great Existence wouldn't allow Termiboris to unleash such power. If that were possible, he long would have manipulated you into breaking the seal. All he can do is influence your judgment and choices. After all, he is sealed within you. Your fates are intertwined. To put simply, concerning Charlie, Termiboris couldn't expedite Susanna's recovery, but he couldn't dictate when or how she planned to find Charlie. He could merely utilize this situation to instill within you the intention of employing the luck transference spell to alter Charlie's fate and augment the corresponding likelihood. Hello, how's it going, man? Holy shit, long time no see. From this standpoint, how do you believe he possesses the capability to enhance Fallen Mercury and allow the timely arrival of the ghost? But it is plausible for him to aid you in shouldering the burden of the past scenes. Hence, I have constantly advised you to seek my counsel before critical matters. Lumien's heart surged. Charlie's gruesome plight and destiny stem from two factors. First, the threat posed by the Bliss Society. Second, Lumien's own choices at the crossroads of fate. Thus, once Rentis was slain by his hands, Charlie's fortune merely improved marginally. Only when Lumien made his correct decision did everything revert to normalcy. There were no indications of Termiboris' influence. Unless Susanna, who possessed a trace of godhood due to the tree, had already deduced that Termiboris was impotent in exerting influence and remained tightly sealed, there must be another origin to this. And that origin did not depart alongside her. Fuck! I had presumed that even if my judgment faltered or exchange prolonged, Termiboris would never allow Susanna to capture me alive. Little did I know he couldn't do anything at all. What happened, he asked. Taking into account all those misfortune, I suspect Termiboris has allies in the outside world. Beyonders lurking around you who possess the ability to influence fate. They secretly accomplish tasks in accordance with ideas transmitted by Termiboris. Sufferer, a word flashed through Lumien's mind. In his dream, after entering the underground altar with Ryan's team, they had been tainted by the aura of a sufferer. As for the owl and the other him within the warlock's tomb prior to the unveiling, they had always given him the impression that they were the root of the problem. Would these be symbolic? Waiting for Hollow. I promise, just get to the end of Volume 5. I don't care how hard you have to push, I don't care how much it sucks, just get to the end of 5. You won't be able to stop reading after that, I promise. Just get to the end of 5. However far you are, fucking next 3 days, you fucking just read, okay? I promise, you reach the last arc of 5, you're not gonna be able to stop reading until fucking, I don't know, basically the end. just get through it. I agree with you, 5 is slow in the middle, you're absolutely right. Just get to the fucking last thing, I promise. Lumien had always believed that his dream self represented his darker side, a persona twisted from inevitability. But now there was more. There was no problem with his understanding of his own essence, but he was, along with the owl hidden in the warlock's tomb, also a symbol. A representation of the puppet master behind the scenes, the true orchestrator of the lizard-like creatures and the ritual in Cordu. And now he was lurking in the shadows to collaborate with Termiboris. But Termiboris' attitude towards the lizard seemed to suggest otherwise. Madam Magician listened and said, I initially believed that by undergoing progressive psychiatric treatment and recalling forgotten events, the truth of Cordu would become clear to you. It wouldn't be any different from what I already know. But hearing what you have just said, I suspect that some of the symbols and metaphors in your dreams hold deeper, hidden secrets. But regardless of what you've said, I suspect... regardless, those symbols and metaphors are projections from actual experiences. It is impossible to decipher them without regaining my memories, right? That may not be the case, Forrest said. On the one hand, you may not have directly experienced those events, but your spirit and subconscious sensed danger and anomalies, projected them into your dream. On the other hand, Termi Boris is sealed within you. Your fate is intertwined with his. Your subconscious may have detected something unusual. After completing the full psychiatric treatment, could Madame Susie awaken the subconscious and inquire the meaning of the hidden symbols? It's risky. When the time comes, we'll have to rely on the joint operation of 2 psychiatrists to decide if it's worth doing, but that's a long way off. By then, I can assist you in finding Beyonders skilled in decrypting symbolism to see if we can accurately interpret it. Would you like that? Alright, Lumin said. You know who's the fucking best at that? The Lord of Mysteries, cryptologist. The Lord of the Mysteries is the greatest cryptologist who has ever fucking Oh, Dr. Z! See, I still got it. What about the potential Termi Boris ally lurking nearby? Are we not to do anything with them? Now that we have sensed this possibility, I don't think they will risk staying close to you. Of course, I will keep watch. Do you plan to continue the mission assigned to you by the Aurora Order? She asked. Many people probably witnessed you charging towards the Shadow Tree. It will raise Martin's suspicion. If you don't want to take the risk, inform Mr. K. He will likely be delighted that you've slain a fallen tree spirit and thwarted the Bliss Society's plan. He'll happily give you a new mission. If you wish to proceed, I can arrange for someone to blur the memories of those who saw you. In any case, it's normal for your exact appearance and physical characteristics to not be clear anyway in that environment. I wish to proceed, Lumin said. Martin was a sequence 6 or 5 of the Hunter pathway and commanded a formidable group of hunters. If Lumin continued to interact with him and join the Iron Blood Cross Order, there was a good chance of him acquiring potion formulas and ingredients. Forrest should tell him, like, hey, we've got 9 through 0 fucking the potions formulas for your pathway. Just chill, okay? We'll get your shit sorted, okay? Like, don't sweat it. So through these experiences, Lumin had gained a profound understanding of the disparity between sequences, the terror of powerful individuals and his own limitations. He needed to enhance his strength. Only by becoming strong could he withstand misfortune and unveil the truth of the catastrophe that befell him. Forrest nodded. Has the tree been dealt with? Lumin asked. How could that be? Forrest scoffed. Even if both churches requested divine intervention, the tree would remain unresolved. It is not impossible, but the price to pay is exorbitant. What sort of price? Lumin pressed. After being nourished and exerting influence for over a millennia, the tree has become one with Trier, akin to its shadow, its dark aspects. Unless we obliterate the city and exterminate every inhabitant, not even a true deity could eradicate it. Of course, we could relocate Trier elsewhere and resettle its population, and after 5 or 6 years the tree will weaken due to loss of nourishment and we could uproot it. But by doing so, other perils would become uncontrollable. Other fucking perils? What the fuck is under Trier? Why hasn't the Tree of Shadow been destroyed when it was first planted? Well, wasn't it due to the urgency of constructing the city and countering certain underground threats? They failed to notice someone secretly planting the Tree of Shadow, Forrest said. Are you unhappy that I sent you directly to Trier and involved you in a series of perilous affairs without providing assistance? Forrest looked at him and chuckled. No. Lumin said. From his perspective, accepting missions, completing tasks, and reaping rewards seemed fair enough. And throughout this, Madam Magician would offer guidance through letters. Forrest chuckled once again. Didn't you see the Major Arcana card summoned by the Two of Cups? It happened because she was coincidentally in Trier, or it would have been effortless and ineffective. If I were to treat you as an extension of my eyes and hands, a loyal subordinate devout of your own will, I could allow you to recite my name and provide ample assistance to ensure your safety. But you chose the Hunter pathway, a path that demands combat and a strong sense of self. A flower natured in a greenhouse cannot become a qualified hunter. It is immensely challenging for a hunter who must always fight within their comfort zone with a patron. To attain godhood and become a saint, In due time, they will have to invest more and more and pay higher and higher prices to compensate for their deficiencies. What type of person do you wish to be? The one who makes those scoundrels tremble. Of course, that doesn't mean I won't care about you. Forrest nodded. I will reply to your letters, provide my opinions, and even extend assistance upon request. But I do not wish for you to feel shielded. Can reciting the name of a specific entity draw their attention and receive aid through prayer? Yes. However, it requires the sufficient goodwill of the other party. Once you reach a certain stage, I will disclose my name to you. Yes, you are aware of Mr. Fool's name, but without a ritual, simply reciting it will be difficult to elicit a response. It may even have adverse effects, because Mr. Fool is contending with an ancient deity. The outcome will determine the fate of us all, and whether this world can survive the apocalypse. Mr. Fool? The abbreviation for that mighty existence is the Fool? As soon as Lumion heard it, he connected it to the tarot cards. Madam Magician changed the subject and glanced at the tree trunk in Lumion's hand. That is a valuable item. Attacks without godhood cannot harm it, and upon striking a target, it may trigger a particular desire. If you acquire beyond characteristics that align with it, you can find a way to employ a saint-level artisan to combine it, turning it into a mythical item. You shouldn't carry it with you, though, or your desires will gradually spur out of control. It poses great danger for Beyonders who consume potions. That will be all for today. In the blink of an eye, Lumion's vision filled with a blend of vibrant colors and ethereal creatures. In the next moment, Anarchy Street appeared before him. Ors had vanished, leaving Lumion bewildered as he donned the clothes and pants in his hand, his attention drawn to Franca. Simultaneously, the two of them smiled. Before them, they could convey their shared sense of being a part of the same organization. Jenna emerged. Lumion and Franca instinctively went on guard. Jenna winced, gripping her wounded ribs. Damn it, you guys are okay. What happened to you? Why are you injured? Franca said. I killed Hugh Artois. You did? And got away? Even Franca didn't believe she could pull that off. What is this called? The embodiment of a true assassin? Lumion noticed a few passerbys and interrupted Jenna. We can discuss it once we reach the motel. I'll take out the bullet and treat your wounds. And I have the bottle of healing agent, Franca said. She supported Jenna and, following the shadows along the roadside, made their way back to the motel. Dude, so peak! We've got true ally. Well, we've got a true ally now, and we've got Jenna. But we've got Franca who's a true ally. Lumion chuckled. I thought you'd have escaped as they encountered Anthony Reed. I still have some unfinished business, Anthony said. The four of them took a few more steps and looked at the beige 5-story building. The motel leaned a little more than before. Cracks marred its wall. As the remaining tenants had yet to return, it exuded an indescribable sense of dilapidation. It had finally been some time since the catastrophe. Amidst the crowd, a young man dressed plainly disembarked from the steam locomotive carrying an old suitcase. He left the platform behind and strolled all the way to Anarchy Street. He laid his eyes on Auberge de Côte d'Or. He reached into his pocket, filling the banknotes and coins, realizing it was within his means. To his surprise, the motel was much cleaner than he had envisioned. While certain areas were plastered with outdated newspaper and cheap pink paper, there were no signs of ubiquitous bedbugs, phlegm, or rubbish. After renting room 302 for 15 Vril d'Or, the man climbed the stairs with his suitcase, feeling content. Lumion? What the fuck is going on here? Room 302 is our room. It's even more affordable than I thought. Once he stowed away his suitcase in the cramped room, he decided to treat himself to a drink with the money he had saved. In the capital of joy, one had to play the part. He made his way to the underground bar, engulfed by the clamor. A man in a shirt and bow tie, beer in hand, flailed his short arms, energetically expounding to the people around him. Others revealed singing and dancing. At the bar counter, a few patrons sat with an intriguing contraption. Curiosity piqued. The young man approached, examining the rubber hose and glass canister, and asked, "What is this?" "Oh, it's not... Okay. Oh, that's the intelligence tester bullshit. Okay, so it's not Lumion. But who is this kid?" "What is this?" he asked. A handsome customer with blonde hair streaked with black turned his body and responded with a bright laugh. "It is called the idiot instrument that tests one's intelligence. Or you could say, it tests their foolishness." So that's Lumion. So he's still here, but he's not in that room anymore. Okay. Thus endeth Volume 2, Light Seeker. Boys, 2 hours and 15 minutes for fucking 11 chapters. Good fucking time. Yet another volume down. Okay. I still got it, Kami. The Joker. Alright, we'll call it. I'm gonna go... I might not stream tomorrow, but I'll definitely stream Saturday. Definitely stream Sunday as well. Alright, boys and girls, have a great rest of your day or nights, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye, guys.